running back or whatever. Not this guy. Everybody talks about number 21, Neon Deion Sanders. And I'm telling you, the Bills aren't afraid of him, but they are very concerned about Deion Sanders.
He averages almost 12 yards per return in his young career, and he's already got 4 returns of better than 60 yards on kickoffs and punt returns. 2 of those 4 have gone all the way for touchdowns. He is a very special and gifted athlete. In just a couple of minutes, we'll talk about our conversation yesterday with head coach Marion Campbell of the Atlanta Falcons and what he was looking at when he looked at Deion Sanders when he came into camp a little bit late, and the magic that he has provided for this team. We are ready to go as Sanders is waiting back along with Keith Jones, the rookie Illinois. Scott Norwood gets into it, and we're underway. It'll be Sanders, an indecisive take at the 7-yard line across the 25. And he's down right at the 25-yard line. So the Atlanta Falcons get their offensive unit on the field for the first time today. Mike Ken, who missed last week's contest, is in there at the left tackle position. The big one on the right side is Houston Hoover. He is the largest one on the offensive line. They protect Chris Miller, John Settle, and Keith Jones in the backfield. Collins and Floyd Dixon will get to the start today due to the injury to the regular starting wide receiver, Michael Haynes. When they go to their Hawk offense, Keith Jones turns into a slot back, and they bring in the extra wide receiver, Stacey Bailey. Settle on 1st and 10 from the 25, gets 3 up to the 28-yard line. Fred Smerlis, the nose tackle, in on the stop. And this Buffalo Bill defense has been so effective, in particular against the run, in recent weeks over the last 3. Second and 7 situation. The ball at the 28-yard line. The Bills come into the contest with a 6-2 record, the best mark in the AFC, along with the Denver Broncos. Keith Jones is not. They're very high on the rookie from Illinois, with good reason. He's got it up to the 34-yard line for a gain of 6. He's short of the first down marker by only a yard. Front 7. And virtually impossible to run against this front 7 over the last 3 games. They've only given up 59, 65, and 39 yards over the last 3. 65 last Sunday. When they go to their dime package, they bring in the 2 extra defensive backs, Mickey Sutton and John Hagee, to join the regular foursome, Jackson, Odom, Smith, and Kelso. 3rd and 1 for the Falcons. Close to their own 34-yard line. 7. Forget it. Bruce Smith. You'll hear number 78's name mentioned quite frequently today. In my estimation, Paul, the 2nd best defensive lineman in the NFL behind Reggie White.
There's just no question about it. And you're going to see not only does Bruce Smith get in there, but Cornelius Bennett is also there, and they just make the stop. There's just no place to go. And Chris Miller didn't lie to us. Well, a little bit. He said, our offense is this. We'll run first down, we'll run second down. If we have to, we'll throw on third down. But they were so short that they thought they could get it on the ground.
He was pretty simple about it all yesterday when we spoke with him. He said, run, run, pass. That's the way we'll look. Run, run, pass. And that's, well, they did run it on third down, but it was 3rd and short. Bills come up big defensively. Exceptional defensive unit. And ready to put it away now for the Atlanta Falcons. Scott Fulhay. As it's Mickey Sutton waiting back and calling for the fair catch at the 25-yard line. So the Falcons out of the 25. And now the Bills will get it at their own 25 after a 42-yard punt by Fulhay. One of the best lines to run behind in the NFL. Buffalo Bills. Ken Hull anchors it in the middle. Devlin, 14-year veteran over on the right side. Thurman Thomas and Killebrew in the backfield. Now, when they go to the shotgun formation, Flip Johnson, Andre Reed stay in there. The extra wide receivers will be James Lofton and Don Beebe.
And the reason James Lofton is in there, because Ronnie Harmon was set down because of an injury, so he is not dressed for this game.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Thurman Thomas. He's up to the 29-yard line for a gain of 4. Ben Thomas in on that first stop for the Atlanta Falcons. 4th year out of Auburn. Let's look at the defensive front 7 now for the Atlanta Falcons. Casillas, the man in the middle. He is a big one and a very good one. Great group of linebackers in Green, Bruce, Rady, and Tuggle. Tuggle, their leading tackler so far this season. When they go to the nickel, Casillas and Rady will check out. Cotton becomes the extra down lineman. Their second-round draft choice last year out of USC. Bringing that extra defensive back to join Sanders and the foursome. In the defensive backfield, counter for Thurman Thomas. Thomas bottled up. Play really never developed for the Bills. He gets a yard to the 30-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Andre Bruce, the first player selected in last year's draft. Get on that stop.
The guy that makes the play is Rady, number 59. Now just watch what happens. He's going to take on the offensive lineman. Here comes Richer out. Wolford's out now. See Rady, 59. When he gets in there, he takes off the blocker. It allows Andre Bruce to make the tackle. The problem with Atlanta has been so far this year, being a 2-6 record, is that they've gotten so far behind in the beginning of the game, and they have a tough time trying to catch up.
3rd and 5. It's the shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers. Kelly in trouble. Dumps it off. Thomas has it. And Thomas has the first down. He's across the 35. At the 38-yard line, he's put down by Albert Shelley, the extra defensive back in there for the Atlanta Falcons. Good ad-lib, though, by Jim Kelly to buy some time.
It really is. Now watch Kelly. He'll look at the left of your screen. He's going to look over there, and Beebe wasn't open, so he pulls the ball back down, moves up into the pocket, finds Thurman Thomas to the outside, and just dumps to him. He took a shot on that left shoulder. You know he's 100%. He's fine.
In talking to Marv Levy, some of the other Buffalo Bills in particular, a couple of the offensive linemen, they said there is no residual effect in the comments that Jim Kelly made about Howard Ballard right after he separated his shoulder. He said it was frustration. Kelly, Marv Levy told me yesterday, was in his office 4 days later apologizing to the head coach for what he called a foolish mistake. Thurman Thomas with the 1st and 10 give. They string the play out well. The Atlanta Falcons, an underrated defensive unit. It was the cornerback, Charles Dimmery, forcing him out. No gain.
This is a good defensive unit. You know, when you talk to the coaching staff and you talk to other staffs about the Atlanta Falcons, Joel, they'll tell you that they're just a click away from being a very good football team. This team should be 4-4, or could be 4-4. Let's put it that way, not 6-2. But once they get that thing clicked together and they all get on, I guess the terminology is on the same page, this is going to be a team that a lot of people are going to fear.
The Atlanta Falcons defensive unit has 5 first-round draft choices on it. That give up the middle for very little to Larry Kinnebrew. He's up to the 40-yard line, call it the 41, for a gain of close to 3.
Tim Green, number 99, former Syracuse player, but they like to play him down. They say he is not a true linebacker. He's more of a down lineman. You see Green coming down the line. He got some help from his friends. Mike Gann was in there. But this is a tough defensive team, and I think the Bills are going to have to throw the ball to beat this team today and not be able to run it against them.
Now, what did Green say when he left Syracuse? He did not want to be drafted by the Buffalo Bills?
Well, that's because Atlanta had already taken it.
Well, no, I thought he was happy.
He was happy. He didn't want to go to the Bills, but they were bad at that time.
Firing it. He's got Flip Johnson for another first down to the midfield stripe. Deion Sanders catching up with the wide receiver. But again, Jim Kelly releasing it under a lot of pressure.
Deion Sanders is a pretty good defensive back. But the one thing about him, he counts on his speed too much. When you see Flip Johnson come across here, look how far behind Deion Sanders is. He said when he played in college that he could cover people. He could make up that 4 or 5 steps that he had to make, so he'd stay off him longer. In the pros, it's a different story. You better be up on the man.
He also said he'd watch the quarterback's eyes, and he's doing that too frequently in the pros. He says he makes that mistake too often. He's got to stay with the wide receiver all the way. Kinnebrew on the carry on 1st and 10. The 50-yard line. Rams it up the middle. Angling it over to the left side for a couple of yards near the 48-yard line. Casillas and Thomas combining for that stop. So a couple of first downs for the too high scoring, the early going. These games just underway. And Green Bay on the board at home, taking on the Chicago Bears, who snapped their 3-game losing streak last week. The LA Rams are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak this week. Seattle on the board early against Kansas City. Clock moving with 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in the first quarter. I'm Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. Good to have you with us at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Only the 5th meeting in the history of the series between the Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. Last time they got together was 1983. Flip Johnson on the quick one from Kelly. Can't beat the quarterback, Deion Sanders. And the gain is a short one. Goes down at the 45-yard line for about 3.
I don't know if the defense is designed like this, but Deion Sanders is almost 10 yards off of Flip Johnson. Jim Kelly is just a quick pop to the outside, but watch how far off Deion Sanders is. Now he has to come up and make it. He can close well. He's an excellent tackler, and the play only picked up about 3 yards.
Brings up another 3rd down. Bills have converted on their first 2 third downs in this drive. This is 3rd and 5, the 45-yard line of Atlanta. Thomas, the only one to the backfield with Kelly. Kelly with plenty of time going for his wideout. Overthrows Lofton near the 20-yard line. Marcus Cotton, the outside linebacker, tried to keep up with the wide receiver. Wide receiver, though, had a step. Ball's just overthrown a bit by Jim Kelly.
And again, Lofton is, just to repeat, Lofton is in because Ronnie Harmon is not playing today. He's not dressed in the game. He's injured. And usually it would be Harmon in that spot.
Lofton waived earlier this year. Picked up the first month of the season after he was waived by the Los Angeles Raiders. Incredible punt coverage. Not a yard against the Buffalo Bills and John Kidd over the last 2 weeks. And he hangs up a high one. Sanders waiting with the 10. It'll sail into the end zone for a touchback. Well, that's one way to keep it away from Deion Sanders.
Yeah, kick it out of the end zone, but that's not a good kick. You lose 20 yards.
So we come back. Falcons will have it for the second time offensively. It's scoreless so far. They had William Andrews. They had Gerald Riggins in the backfield, and it was equal. Pass and rush for the Atlanta Falcons, but that has all changed. Chris Miller is now in his 3rd year. He is a very good quarterback, and not that they want that type of ratio, Paul, but they're going more to the pass with the quarterback from the University of Oregon. Marion Campbell, the head coach, in his 2nd tour of duty with the Atlanta Falcons, a 33-77 record overall. Also coached with the Philadelphia Eagles, known as a great defensive coach. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. It's scoreless at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. That was John Settle. Only a yard of the carry. Bruce Smith wrapping up the running back.
Well, Bruce Smith, you're not going to beat Buffalo by trying to run at him. I can tell you that right now. Bruce Smith just goes out around Mike Ken and back in to make the play. Gives you an idea of how quick he really is. And, you know, we were talking to Chris Miller yesterday, and Chris said, you know, our offense is run, pass. And you better throw the ball on 1st down to get these guys off the line of scrimmage.
Got to keep them honest. Keep them off balance at the same time. 2nd and 9. The ball at the 21-yard line. Settle again. Backing it up the middle for very little. Up to the 24-yard line. Art Still making the stop on that one.
All right, they're booing already. And I'll tell you another amazing thing about the Atlanta Falcons is something I never thought I would ever hear in pro football. They have no audible systems, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot. Chris Miller cannot audibilize at the line. They have a system called Check With Me, which he'll give a formation in the huddle, then he'll come to the line of scrimmage and call a play. But if he has a play called, he can't get out of it. And I can't understand that.
That really limits your quarterback, ball. No options available for Chris Miller. 3rd and 7, the ball at the 23. Screen is batted up into the air. That was the linebacker, Cornelius Bennett. Bennett getting his hand up in the air. Probably unloading a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Very dejected, but you know, here comes Bruce Smith coming up the middle, and they're trying to put at least 1 or 2 people on him. They ended up with the 3rd man, which is Keith Jones, but Cornelius Bennett knocked the ball down.
I think the Buffalo Bills would like that matchup all day long. Bruce Smith against Keith Jones.
Yeah. Well, that's the 3rd guy, though. You get tired after you get through the first 2.
Scott Folleg in for his 2nd punt of the day. His first traveled 42 yards. And Mickey Sutton waiting back at the Buffalo Bills' 33-yard line. So the Bills should gain in this exchange in the war of field position. Folleg sends out a beauty, though. Angles it over to the far side. Sutton taking it in and going out of bounds right at his own 30-yard line. So the Bills will have it one more time. Their 2nd offensive series when we return. 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Still no score in Atlanta. Kelly and the Bills offense get it for the 2nd time this afternoon as we welcome you back to Atlanta. 5:36 left in the first quarter. No score so far. That's Metzelars, the tight end, shifting over to the left side. Well, Andre Reed goes in motion on 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line, and a dead ball foul coming up. Penalty flags into the air. It'll be against the Bills offense.
The one thing about this Atlanta defensive team, they're really strong. They're tough against the run. The biggest problem that they have is their pass rush. Casillas is a nose tackle, a true nose tackle, and he can rush very well. But the problem they've been having is with Gann, number 76 on the left end, and Ben Thomas, number 72 on the right end. They are just not getting the job done.
That is one of the things they want to improve upon. Their pass rush. Since Marv Levy has joined the Buffalo Bills, his first full season, 87, has it ever turned around in Buffalo. And I am convinced, Paul, we had a great talk with Marv Levy yesterday. As long as Marv Levy's the head coach and Bill Polian's the GM, Buffalo Bill fans are going to have a lot of fun for many, many years to come. They will continue to be one of the most successful franchises in the NFL. As Thurman Thomas is dumped for a loss on 1st and 15. Back at the 23-yard line, they're heading in the wrong direction right now. Big Tony Casillas out of Oklahoma in his 4th year. Second player selected in the 86th draft, making that hit.
Number 75 is Casillas. Ken Hall is trying to block him. Now watch Casillas work down the line. The linebackers are helping him. Casillas takes the cutback, makes the play. Brady is there with him, number 59. That's good defense.
This defensive unit is the best part of the football team right now as far as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned. Some talent on the offensive side, but right now, as you can see, they're not opening things up. Kelly going deep, wide open. He's got Andre Reed at the 30. He takes it in, going out of bounds at the 25. He beat Robert Moore on that side.
You talk about a breakdown in coverage. Now, I don't know if it's Charles Demery, number 22, is supposed to be covered. Now, watch, 22 is Demery. He releases him. Now, Moore never gets over there, number 34. When that happens, Reed just goes down the field. Great protection by the offensive line, and Kelly has time to get the ball out to Reed.
A 52-yard reception for Andre Reed. Reed, the leading pass catcher in the AFC. That's his 49th so far this season. He just had a string snap last week. 42 straight games with a 3-point catch. He was shut down against the Miami Dolphins, but they only threw the ball 9 times.
Well, even more is not the normal starter. Ford usually is.
Timeout called for Buffalo. Be right back to Atlanta. Around the NFL in this 9th week of the season. Tampa Bay matching up with the Cleveland Browns, who have gained some momentum over the last couple of weeks with that 5-3 record. Tampa Bay with an early lead, just like the New York Jets, looking for their second win of the season. Seattle. So we welcome you back to Atlanta. Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. Andre Reed, who just got that 52-yarder, the motion man. Now, let's see if they throw it, because that was a lateral to Flip Johnson. He wanted to throw it. He's out of bounds, though. That was Charles Demery coming up, the quarterback, and forcing him out at the 27-yard line. So a little gadget play early on 1st and 10 at the 25 for Buffalo.
Well, he was trying to throw the ball downfield to Keith McKellar, number 84, the tight end coming across. The play just didn't work. I mean, they were covered, and there's no place to go. And Flip Johnson did the right thing. Just gets out of bounds, take the short loss, get on with it, because you're inside the 30-yard line now.
Buffalo Bills ran it for 280 yards last Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. But Marv Levy told us yesterday they can't do that against Atlanta because they like to play that bear defense, that 8-man front. Kelly on the delay to Larry Kinnebrew. Kinnebrew wrestled down inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Andre Bruce, the outside linebacker, in on his second tackle of the day. Said that Bruce hasn't developed as quickly as they anticipated.
Now take a look at the middle of the line. Now Ken Hall is doing what he's supposed to do, is hold up Casillas. He has him out of the play, but the linebackers are not blocked, so that Rady comes in and also Andre Bruce to make the play.
This offensive line for the Buffalo Bills has been something else. Not only in the run blocking ball, but also their protection of the quarterback and Frank Reich over the last 3 weeks. The backup for Jim Kelly. Kelly now 4 of 5 for a total of 73 yards. He hasn't missed a beat, although this is his first start in 4 weeks. Kelly over the middle, wide open. He's got his receiver for a first down. He got it to James Lofton. Lofton with a grab at a 1st and 10 and 14-yard line. Rolled off in front of the free safety, Tim Gordon. And Lofton now has 600 career receptions. The 7th player in NFL history with that last grab.
Well, Tim Gordon, number 41, is the man that's going to be covering Lofton right in the center of the screen, and Kelly just reads Lofton, goes down, gets beyond the first down marker. The reason that people were booing is because they thought that Lofton didn't get the first down. He was beyond the 15-yard line, had the first.
He was close to the 14 when he caught the ball. Kinnebrew Almost looked like 2 men in motion. Now they get set. Johnson in the slot man. Thurman Thomas weaving his way out of the backfield for a gain of about 3. Close to 4, just inside the 11-yard line. Pushed down by Jesse Tuggle, their leading tackler for the Atlanta Falcons, number 58 in his 3rd year out of Valdosta State. Thurman Thomas, though, coming off an incredible day last week. Tuggle, not your prototypical linebacker, and he puts down Thurman Thomas, who's already got 650 yards on the ground this year.
And leads the National Football League in total yardage.
Total yards from scrimmage, 1,050. His drive. Started back at their own 30-yard line. Kelly going for Flip Johnson. Here a first down. He gave it up, though, when he cut it back to the middle of the field. He gave up the first down at the 5-yard line. He's back to about the 6.
Well, he gave it up because number 34, Robert Moore, was there.
May have had something to do with it.
Take his head up. You see Robert Moore now. He's just playing center field, and when he sees Flip Johnson hook it up in the middle, he didn't get beyond the first down marker. They've got about 3rd and 2 for the first down. And we're seeing something that Atlanta's doing a little bit more of this game than they've been doing in the past, and that's blitzing.
They're taking some chances on the second drive by the Buffalo Bills. And at 53, left in the first quarter. 3rd and a short 2 with the ball just outside of the 6. Kelly will work out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Kelly over the middle, touchdown Buffalo, James Lofton. Lofton's first touchdown as a member of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, and also, Kelly's not rusty, is he? He's been playing all week long and practicing. Moore and Demery, 22 and 34. Watch where Kelly puts the ball. Right between the two of them. Here comes Lofton. There's 34 is Moore. Demery is 22, and it's touchdown. Perfect pass.
Only his man could get at James Lofton because Demery providing pretty decent coverage. The shoulder pad. Scott Norwood into the extra point try is 26 and 26 so far. Make it 27 and 27. And the Buffalo Bills coming in as favorites today by a little bit better than a field goal. Get the first score of the afternoon and lead it by 7. Right after he scored a 6-yard touchdown pass. His first TD is a Bill.
And Kelly's looking right over the middle. Look at the protection. They had a double blitz on with 2 defensive backs coming right up the middle of Kelly. He finds Lofton and hits him right in the numbers.
Jim Kelly now, 7 of 8 passing for a total of 94 yards. What a start for Kelly. 1 touchdown pass. The big play on that, don't forget, though, was the 52-yard reception by Andre Reed all the way down to the 25-yard line.
It took him a long time to get his rhythm back, didn't it?
Yeah, he looked real rusty. Norwood trying to angle it. That's what they want to do against Deion Sanders. Put him to one sideline or the other. They do exactly that. Sanders, his own 13, and that great kickoff coverage of the Buffalo Bills, the 2nd best in the NFL. Hagee, the first one down there, getting Sanders near the 19-yard line. Bernie Kosar with a 24-yard touchdown pass to Eric Metcalf to tie things up with the Browns against the Buccaneers. Rams have a lead now. Field goal by Rich Carlos for the Minnesota Vikings. And Okoye with that touchdown run for Kansas City.
And Atlanta better put the ball in the air.
They're going with 3 wide receivers. They are going up top. Looking for Deion Sanders, who's playing offensively. Now, he told us yesterday as it's batted away on 1st and 10 that I am going to play offense before the end of the year. We've tried to pinpoint it. When is it going to happen? He said, you'll be surprised, but I'm going to play some offense.
He wants to go both ways. And he look at this guy, and he says, all I want to do is get the ball in my hands. But you talk about Nate Odoms, just excellent coverage. And here comes Kelso, and he just drills him. No chance to catch the ball. That's perfect defense.
They're throwing again with a no-huddle offense, looking for primetime Sanders, and right through his hands with penalty flags down to the play as Kelso is defending down there with Nate Odoms. Odoms with him every step of the way, but that was a catchable one for Deion Sanders.
His Isn't it amazing? We talked to Marion Campbell about this guy yesterday and asked him the question about him playing offense. He said he's got the tenacity of a defensive football player. He's the kind of guy that has that defensive mentality. I'd rather have him on defense. He's better out there. But I guarantee you one thing, that Deion Sanders talked these people into letting them play offense.
Or else Marion Campbell's got the best poker face I've ever seen.
Here's the coverage right here, and that ball hits him right in the hands. Maybe that's another reason, Deion, you're on defense.
Marion Campbell, when we asked him about Deion Sanders eventually going over to the other side, playing wide receiver, told us that he's got the mentality of a defensive player. He likes to hit. To be able to make things happen from the defensive side. Well, forget about that commentary. Because Deion Sanders, he had a twinkle in his eye yesterday when we met with him, said, "You'll see, but I'll be playing offense before the end of the year." Little did we know it would come this afternoon. Dixon, the motion man, dumped off for Dixon, beat the first man, room to move. He's got a first down and then some, past the 40. He's got a first down all the way up to the 43-yard line. So after 2 series, Paul, where all they did was run the ball and failed to get a first down, now they open it up.
All right, now hits the screen pass to the outside, and Ken, number 78, is going to get out there. What Nate Odoms does here is he makes a mistake by going around the blocker. Watch this. He goes around this way instead of sitting up and forcing the man to settle down a little bit. But Dixon, once he gets the block from Ken, he's upfield and picks up the first down. You can't commit yourself because you're the only guy out there, and that's what Nate Odoms did on that play.
John Collins, their leading receiver, in motion. Get off to 7. He can move for a big one. That's the cut across the 45. Near the 47-yard line. Gain of about 4 for John Settle. Their leading back so far this season. Buffalo on that touchdown pass to James Lofton with the early lead over the Atlanta Falcons, but this is the best the Falcons have looked so far offensively. So that will be the final play of the first quarter, the 4-yard run by John Settle. When they put it back into play to start the second 15 minutes here at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, it'll be a 2nd and 6 situation for Atlanta, trailing by 7. Quarter of play in Atlanta, the Buffalo Bills with a 7-0 lead over the Atlanta Falcons. And welcome back once again, Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. When we talked to Deion Sanders yesterday with a twinkle in his eye, Paul, he told us he wanted to play on the offensive side and wide receiver.
He said soon. He didn't say tomorrow. This team just loves Deion Sanders. Now you take a look at the ball is thrown perfectly, but the defense played it perfectly.
Falcons have it to start the second quarter, 2nd and 6. Settle again on the carry. He pulls his way inside Buffalo territory. That's the first time that the Falcons have penetrated Bills territory. Down near the 48-yard line. He's short of the first down by about a yard. We're coming your way today from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. AFC NFC matchup. The Buffalo Bills at 6-2. At the opposite end, the Atlanta Falcons at 2-6, dropping 5 of their last 6. A sparse gathering. They really had problems in recent years of getting people into the stands. They expected about 45,000 today. It's a big third down for the Atlanta Falcons. 3rd and 1. It's Settle. And Settle dives ahead with the extra effort to get the first down. It looked like Smith, along with the linebacker Bentley, may have had him in the backfield.
That's just continuous effort by Settle. You take a look at Art Still, Bruce Smith, 72, 78, 76 is Smurlus, and they go over top. And Settle just goes underneath everything and picks up the yardage on his own because the blocking obviously wasn't there. You know, we were talking about this offense with no audibles, and it really puts the quarterback in a terrible position because if he comes up to the line of scrimmage and a play is called and there's a 6 or 7 man line and there's a trap play called, he can't get out of it, and the back is going to get killed.
This time it's Keith Jones, the rookie from Illinois, dancing. He was doing the east and west routine, though. Didn't go north and south. It's nothing on the carry. At the end of the first 15 minutes of play, the Buffalo Bills dominating the offensive numbers. Almost tripling the output of the Atlanta Falcons. But Atlanta now in their 3rd series of the afternoon, starting to open it up a little bit.
And it is a little bit different with Kelly in the ball game. They're going to throw a lot more with Kelly in there because he'll change it to throw the ball. He likes to audibilize to a pass. But the game plan, even talking to Marv Levy, he said, you know, we never dreamt that we could run that many times against Miami. And the reason that it worked, Joel, is because Miami never changed their defense.
They never adjusted. Sean Collins in motion. Keith Jones on the carry. He is belted by Ray Bentley, the inside linebacker. His 4th year from Central Michigan. So he racked up the running back after a gain of a little bit better than 3.
All right, look at the middle of the line again. There's Swirla, 76, Still, and Smith. And when they take on all the blockers, it just leaves the ball carrier all alone for Ray Bentley, number 50, to make the tackle. There's Shane Conlon. Right behind him is Ray Bentley.
Shane Conlon is expected to see some duty today. He has been out since the start of the season. He's expected to see some duty today, and they hope that will get him ready for a big game at home next week against Indianapolis. Kelly on the move, or Miller on the move, firing up and out. Is it taken in? Yes. They say it's a completion inside the 30. All the way down to the 26-yard line for the first down. Sean Collins with a great leaping grab.
Bruce Smith is out there. That's Jeff Wright, number 91, chasing. But watch this. Now, the reason that this ball is inbounds, take a look at it right here. First of all, he gets both feet inbounds, but the referee, in his judgment, is that he could have come down inbounds. Watch Bruce Smith here, Joel. Thinks he's agile? Now he comes back in pass coverage. No, Bruce, you got to chase the quarterback.
So Chris Miller, mobile quarterback, just like Jim Kelly for the Buffalo Bills. And now they're going to go up to the replay official to find out. And I believe that was 86, not 85, who caught the ball. Floyd Dixon, who's getting the start today due to the injury to Michael Haynes. But I believe that is 86 who grabbed it, not 85. Floyd Dixon.
All right, now just take a look at Dixon when he comes down. Now Sutton is there. Does he have a chance to get his feet in bounds? I would think this is going to be called a good pass because he gets knocked out of bounds here, and I think he would have been able to get in bounds. Sean Collins says he's in.
From that angle, it appeared he even got both in anyway, Paul. It looked like he was tiptoeing. She must be a saint.
Review, the play stands as called.
Thank you, Bob.
Congratulations, partner.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Beverly for putting up with you.
Well, it's been 27 years of wedded bliss for me and 2 for my wife.
I was about to say that. Took the words right out of my mouth. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Down to the Buffalo 26-yard line. Keith Jones, the only one in the backfield. Check that. They've inserted Gene Lang, the former Denver Bronco, 33, not 38. And he is racked up by Darryl Talley. Maybe one of the most underrated linebackers in the NFL.
No question about it. Absolutely no question about it. Darryl Talley is just such a strength in this team, and he's a quiet strength in this football team.
Looking at some scores, updating on this 9th week of the season. Still tied at Tampa Bay. Tussle in the NFC Central Division in Green Bay today. No changes. After that last look. Lost back to the 27-yard line. A loss of a yard on the carry by Lang. Lang is going to stay in there. Along with Jones, who goes in motion. Gene Lang. Nothing doing again. Fans here at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium don't like the inconsistency in the play calling, Paul. It was wide open at the outset of the drive when it started all the way back to the Atlanta 19-yard line. Now they've got it in enemy territory, and they're starting to close the ranks again.
Joel, I gotta believe that this is one of those things where he couldn't call an audible. He, being Chris Miller, came up to the line of scrimmage, and they see almost an 8-man line sitting up in there, and they've got a play called up in the middle to run a trap, and there's just no way to trap all those people.
Rod Dowhauer is the offensive coordinator for Marion Campbell, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Paul, I have never heard of a team. You've been around a lot longer than I have, but I've never heard of a team that has not let their quarterback have some options out there.
In the 50s, when I played high school ball, we had options.
3rd down, and Miller can't get away. Darryl Talley, the first one in. 9th being through and getting the legs of Chris Miller, dropping the quarterback at the 28-yard line.
Best pass defense in the world is a pass rush. And just take a look at Chris Miller. He's going up. There's Jeff Wright, 91, coming in there, but they force him up in the pocket. The big thing, too, not only does Telly make the tackle, they rush the passer, but everyone downfield was covered. There was no place to throw the football.
McFadden will try to get the Falcons on the board with a 45-yard field goal attempt. His longest of the season came last week, a 48-yarder. He's hit 4 straight, 7 of his last 9. He drives this one well. Does it drift? Yes. It's wide left. So McFadden has his string snapped at 4 as he misses the 45-yarder, and the Bills will get it back when we return, leading by 7.
First to know. Watch Paul McFadden.
Was just before we broke away from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Paul McFadden missing only his 5th field goal of the season. He is now 12 of 17. And he had to feel a real vote of confidence this week with Buffalo leading by 7 as we welcome you back to Atlanta. McFadden has done so well as they give it to Thurman Thomas across the 30. Good run out to the 34-yard line. A gain of 6 for Thurman Thomas on first and 10. The ultimate situation for the Buffalo Bills, but what a vote of confidence for your place kicker. He's hit 12 of 16, 4 in a row, 7 of his last 9. And what do? They bring in Fuad Reves, who was just recently cut by the Miami Dolphins this week, to take a look at him as a place kicker.
Well, they're always looking. You know, that doesn't mean they're going to keep a guy, but they want to keep their kickers on their toes.
2nd and 4 coming up. Thurman Thomas coming off a brilliant effort last week. Thomas with 148 yards, 121 for Larry Kinnebrew. First time since 78. Bills have 2 backs to go over the century mark. Johnson goes in motion on 2nd and short, 2nd and 4. Thurman Thomas waiting for his block. Breaks the tackle, but only gets up to the 35-yard line. John Rainey finally getting to the running back. Robert Moore, Tony Casillas there as well.
Joe Devlin, been around a long time, number 70 for the Buffalo Bills, is now playing guard this year and playing it very well, but he comes around and he gets caught up with Keith McKellar, who was a tight end, and then gets out to the outside, and Robert Moore goes underneath Devlin, but I don't think that Moore was Devlin's man in the first place. He got caught up with the tight end and couldn't get out.
Bills almost perfect in 3rd down conversion for the first half, 8:31. Left in the first 30 minutes of play. This is a 3rd and 3 for Kelly, working with the shotgun formation, and it's dropped by Don Beebe. Deion Sanders covering, but Beebe most often will come up with a pass like that.
Jim Kelly, you think he isn't in the ball game? What do I have to do? Do I have to carry it down there and hand it to you? He hit Beebe right in the hands with the ball.
John Kidd in now for his 2nd punt of the afternoon. He's in his 6th year from Northwestern. Deion Sanders waiting back at the 26-yard line as Kidd wobbles out a returnable time for Sanders. Not much hang time. Sanders high-stepping his way across the 35, angling it to the 45-yard line. He doesn't like to showboat a little bit, does he, Paul?
He loves it. You know, the thing about it is, though, and what Marv Levy says, hit him in the numbers. Don't try to go for his legs.
Tackle on the torso, as they say. Atlanta's got it back when we return. They were working on him, the medical staff.
That's John Kidd, the punter. They were working on him on the side. He just got, it's not a cramp, it's a bruise.
Atlanta has it 1st and 10 at their own 45. John settled. Big hole up the middle. Inside Buffalo territory, down to the 49. Before he's met by Cornelius Bennett, the outside linebacker. It's the best field position for either team to start a drive. There's primetime Deion Sanders, the baseball dugout, all the way down, like he's headed to the locker room now.
Well, this guy here, and you can't say enough about him. His teammates can't say enough about him. The guy has got such a big heart. He talks a lot, but he backs it up, and they like that.
Gene Lang in the backfield again, along with Settle, that tandem. Lang the motion man. 2nd and 4, play action for Lang. Lang against the linebacker, flags down to the play. Carlton Bailey outside, making the stop, staying with Gene Lang. Bailey is going to see a lot of time as Scott Radisick did not get to practice a lot this week. So we check in on other scores around the NFL. offside call appears to be going against the Buffalo Bills. Steve Ballore with a 10-yard touchdown run has given the Kansas City Chiefs their first lead of the day.
55 defense.
That's Cornelius Bennett.
We'll take a look at Dion. I said, don't look at his legs, look at his numbers. Watch his legs. Now, you can see Tasker 89 was sitting there looking at his numbers, and here comes the helmet right below the shoulder pads, right in the back. I don't believe he'll be out long.
Who say punters never get involved?
They get involved. They get down there. They're supposed to get down there.
Former punter, my partner Paul Maguire.
I made every tackle on the punting team.
That's not what your coaches tell me.
I know. Well, I've made a couple. That's because they ran them back.
I'd like to remind you, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the contest. They're just shy of the first down by a matter of inches. So second and less than a yard coming up are the Atlanta Falcons. Chris Miller. Atlanta, least penalized team in the NFC so far this season. They have yet to pick the flag so far this afternoon.
This is well behaved. Maybe they ought to start getting badder. Huh? Maybe get some penalties. Get this team fired up.
Second and short. Gene Lang with a first down carry. He's got it near the 40-yard line. Gain of close to 4 for the former Denver Bronco. He was a multi-purpose man for 5 seasons in Denver.
All right, Hoover and Freilich are on the right-hand side of the line, 79 and 69, and they just, that's Leon Seals, number 96, and they just blow him off the line of scrimmage to pick up the first down.
First and 10 inside the 41-yard line. Atlanta's best drive stalled inside the 30. At the 28, then McFadden missed a 45-yard field goal. So they send Lang out of the backfield. Settle on the carry. Settle with his best run of the day inside the 35. All the way down to the 33-yard line. Finally tripped up by Carlton Bailey.
They're going back to that side again with Freilich and Hoover, and this is a big side of the line. Just take a look at them. They're coming off the line of scrimmage, and there's double team blocking right at the point of attack. You see Cornelius Bennett, 55, trying to come around to play. Leon Seals, number 96, misses it, and then Carlton Bailey gets in on a tackle. If there's one guy that cheats on the line of scrimmage, Cornelius Bennett does, and he was already called once for offside, but he gets about as close as you're going to possibly get. That's number 55.
Settle has 9 carries now for a total of 30 yards. This is his 10th, and on second and short, second a little bit better than 2. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Jeff Wright, the nose tackle. The first one there, and what a throw that had to be for Jeff Wright in front of 80,000 last week. Sold out Rich Stadium to get the first sack of Dan Marino in 19 games.
I was wondering what he was going to do. It was almost like a delayed reaction. He just waited a few moments, was down there talking to Marino, and then he got up, and then he went beyond the defensive huddle, pulled his arm back saying, yeah.
Buffalo Bills defensive unit in the last 3 weeks has given up just 59-39, and last Sunday 65 yards on the ground. 3rd and 2, play action for Miller. Rolling. He's got a man wide open. Overthrows who's tied in. He's looking for Gary Wilkins. And Wilkins was wide open inside the 15.
He had 2 tight ends downfield, and both tight ends were open. Heller, number 80, and Wilkins, number 87, were both open down the middle. And the thing that Chris Miller did not do, he was on the run, being chased from the backside, but he didn't set himself to be able to throw the ball properly.
McFadden will try another long field goal. The 45-yarder. This will be a 49-yard attempt. It would be the longest of the season for McFadden. In his 6th year out of Youngstown State. Exchange is a clean one. Really gets into this one. He's got it. Longest field goal of the year for Paul McFadden. Finally gets the Falcons on the board with 4:47 left in the first half. Up nose tackle for the Buffalo Bills as he spells Freddie Smerlis from time to time. Last week, Paul came up with the biggest play of his young career in only his 2nd season. And
the happiest person on the field, and there were 80,000 people in Buffalo, and I can guarantee at that point in time he didn't hear anybody. All he did, he got to Marino first time in 20 games. Great job. He'll be a great football player, this kid.
Second year from Central Missouri State. They've got depth on the defensive front for the Buffalo Bills. Jeff Wright and Leon Seals.
No question about it. And it gives the guy like Smirlis, who's been around a little while, and Art Still time to go out and rest a little bit. And that's what makes these guys so effective on defense.
McFadden waiting for the green light. Ronnie Harmon normally brings back the kickoff returns along with Don Beebe, but Harmon, one of the two inactive, slightly injured, could not make the start today for the Buffalo Bills. So it'll be Kenneth Davis back deep along with Beebe, who is some kind of speed burner. The reserve wide receiver for Buffalo.
They keep talking about it, the 4-2-4 or 4-2-2,
4-2-9.
Well, they had him. Someone clocked him at 4-2-2. I'd like to say, I got to see the clock. But he's fast. He's the fastest guy on this team.
Earlier, the officials were discussing something with Bills head coach Marv Levy. During the field goal.
Here comes Bob.
Number 65
Did not report.
reported as an ineligible player to an eligible position on third down. He must leave the game for one play. He did not. He participated in the fourth down play. Therefore, there's a foul on the play.
Well, that means that they don't get the field goal. That goes off.
Take the points off the board. Let's look back now on that field goal. And he was talking about number 65 for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, the problem is, you know, he's at the defensive end, or the offensive end on this play, and he reported the play before, so now he has to leave the game.
It's Guy Bingham, the backup center.
He didn't leave the game. So now they got to find out where the ball was. Well, I can find out by looking where the ball was.
The ball was at the 41-yard line, or rather the 31-yard line with the line of scrimmage on fourth down. A bewildered look on the face of Bingham and the offensive line coach. In the background there, Jim Hannafin, the former coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now with Marion Campbell's staff.
Well, they go back out and try it again, but they get penalized for it.
So the points come off the board. And looking back on some of the topics that were discussed today on NFL Live, Jets president Steve Gutman said he's looking forward to Tony Eason reporting on Monday or Tuesday. John Riggins quite vocal about the Redskins. And Bobby Beathard said that the Bills would rather have Shane Conlon back than Jim Kelly.
There's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still going to be fourth down. Now the kick would be 54 yards.
Yes, and McFadden. You have to wonder if they're going to let McFadden try it. They've kept McFadden on the field. He is going to try a 54-yard attempt out of the hold of Chris Miller.
Well, he hit the last one so well. I mean, it would have carried.
This would be the longest of his career. He gets into it, a 54-yard attempt on its way, and it's good! Right now is a McFadden. It's Guy Bingham.
Yeah, that he made it because they took 3 points off and put it back on again. Coach Fazio is the special teams coach, and here's McFadden, and I think he knew it right off the top. I know the holder, Chris Miller, knew it was in there.
That is a Fulton County Stadium record, just set by Paul McFadden. He was with the Giants last year after spending his first 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. Boost for that young man, the longest field goal of his young career.
get on with the kickoff again.
Only about a 10-minute delay. And don't forget at the half, Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson with all the scores and highlights. Bob will talk with Sports Illustrated writer Rick Riley regarding his recent article on John Elway. Don Beatty taking it to the 5-yard line. He is dumped down in a big way, crossing the 20. Near the 24. Jesse Tuggle, their leading tackler, also down there. The first one into the special team stop. Cleveland, after trailing early 7-0, receiving their wake-up call, but the second quarter, leading by 21 now. Jets lead by 11, looking for their second win of the season. Minnesota with 3 field goals from Rich Carlos, a 2-point lead over the LA Rams. 17 straight points now. The Kansas City Chiefs at home.
And Deion Sanders is back on the field playing.
Spotted at the 23 where it's 1st and 10. Flip Johnson in motion. Same side as Andre Reed. Kelly throwing on first down. Looking for Kennebrew. It's complete. Kennebrew's got it. Near the 40-yard line. A Buffalo first down. Seemed like Kennebrew almost had to fair catch that one. He waited so long. And look at Kelly. He took quite a shot at the end of the play.
He's bent over.
Now, the injury was a separated left shoulder. This is to the right arm.
All right, Kelly's going to get hammered at the end of this play, and this is a great pass to Kennebrew. That's Tony Casillas coming in and making the play on Kelly. And it's been a while since he's been in the ball game. He's not going to go out of the game. Now, there's Frank Reich. He's loosening up again, but Kelly's not going to come out.
With a 3-0 record when he was in there. Thurman Thomas getting a block to the outside. There goes Thomas inside the 50. All the way down to the Atlanta 40-yard line. Big run by Thurman Thomas. Let's go to New York now for an update. Bob Costas at NFL Live.
Well, surprise. Here we are in New York, in fact, and in Tampa Bay. 2 Vinny Testaverde passes have been returned, intercepted for touchdowns. First by Felix Wright, this one by Thane Gash for 15 yards. Bernie Kosar has 2 touchdown passes. Cleveland leads 28-7. Joel.
Thank you, Bob. We welcome you back to Atlanta where the Bills have the ball. They're driving. They've got a lead. Thurman Thomas just got into that first down carry from just outside the 40-yard line. Only got a yard on the last carry. Let's look back at the last one.
All right, here's the block on the outside. Number 70 is Devlin. Ballard is 75. This is the last play we had, the 1-yard run. The play before that is when they really had an excellent blocking to the outside. And Thurman Thomas made a great run.
This drive started back at the Bills 23. Boone Thomas staying in the backfield. Kelly on 2nd and 9, ready to put it up. And going deep, looking for Flip Johnson in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Charles Demery with good coverage on the sideline.
Demery, number 22, is getting a start today, and he's with Flip Johnson. Take a look at this ball. This ball is overthrown out. It looks like he grabbed Flip Johnson, but he didn't. I mean, they're both diving for the ball. Here's Deion on the other side, and he's on Andre Reed. Deion put his hand out just to slow him down, but this guy's got great recovery.
It's good work in the secondary for the Atlanta Falcons. Defensive unit off to a good start today. It's the 3rd best offense in the NFL, led by Jim Kelly once again. 3rd and 9 situation for the Bills at the 40-yard line. Kelly trying to get out of the backfield. He is sacked for the first time this afternoon by Malcolm Taylor.
Malcolm Taylor's in there, but when Kelly went back in the pocket to throw, give the credit to the defensive secondary because Kelly had no place to throw the ball. There goes Kelly back in now. He's looking off to his right. Right here is that pump. He wanted to make a throw. Coverage was there. He did the smart thing. Don't throw the interception. Just take the sack.
That's where the Falcons want to see the most improvement in their pass rush. They get to Kelly for their first sack. And now it's John Kidd pumping it away to Deion Sanders. Good hang time. goes out of bounds. Kidd has been incredible over the last few weeks. Goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at the 6. Exceptional placement and an outstanding punt by John Kidd.
See, I like that kick because, number one, it keeps the ball away from Deion Sanders. But number two, there's not even a chance. The ball hits out of bounds. When it goes out of bounds, there's just no way to get it.
All 5 of Kidd's punts last week against the Miami Dolphins were downed inside the 20-yard line. What a help that is to the defensive unit. And now Atlanta, trailing by 4, will try to dig themselves out of the hole back at their own 6-yard line.
One of the surprises so far in this ball game is the fact that Chris Miller has not thrown the ball to Sean Collins, and that's the man that he said is one of his favorite targets. Big, strong, and can go after the ball.
Stay tuned for the second game of our NFL doubleheader coming up next on most of these NBC stations. The Bengals back on track after their demolition of the Buccaneers last Sunday. They head west to face Bo Jackson and the rejuvenated L.A. Raiders. Following our game here in Atlanta. 3:07 left in the first half. 1st and 10. The Falcons their own 6. It's settled, giving them some breathing room. Here a first down out to the 16-yard line. Finally put down to the strong safety Leonard Smith.
And this ball, they just go straight up the middle. Remember, they got Hoover and Freilich on the right-hand side of the offensive line. And then the center, Jamie Dukes, gets an excellent block. They're going to measure this thing. It's almost a first down.
Outstanding blocks, as you can see on that last play by the center Dukes. And Bill Freilich, number 79.
Freilich was one of the big holdouts. It is a first down. Was one of the big holdouts. Radliff was another holdout. But he's not playing. He's hurt. And Stan Clayton, who actually had the job in training camp the first part of the season, he's back in there at left guard, number 74.
The Falcons still have 3 timeouts remaining in the first half. Buffalo Bills with 2 left. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first 30 minutes of play. Shane Conlon enters the game for the first time this afternoon. They settle on 1st and 10 to the 16. Gets it up for a couple. A little bit across the 18-yard line.
See Kelso come up, hit Conlon on the head after the play. Here's Shane Conlon, number 58. 55 is Cornelius Bennett. Look at Shane Conlon. Just take on the blocker right there. Doesn't make the play, but slows down the progress. And then Leon Seals, number 96, makes the play.
Conlon, his 3rd year from Penn State, that first-round pick back in '87.
We talked about impact players. There's one.
We have reached the 2-minute warning, and Atlanta, the Falcons have it, but they're still trailing the Bills by 4. Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. I'm Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire and the Bills on top of the Falcons. They led it 7-0 before a 54-yard field goal by Paul McFadden made it a 4-point difference. That's where it stands right now with the 2-minute warning. And Paul, I am a bit surprised by the Atlanta play calling so far in the sense that Chris Miller's only thrown 5 passes. He is 2 for 5 for 34 yards. Now, we know they like to run the ball, but you're going up against the 6th best defensive unit in the NFL and stopping the run.
And you can't just sit around and play games with this team. Chris Miller told us, run, pass.
2nd and 8 from the 18. Pocket holds up well for Miller. Plenty of time as he goes for Sean Collins. Can't hook up with his favorite target at the 45-yard line. Kirby Jackson defending on the play of the quarterback from Mississippi State for Buffalo.
Kirby Jackson just made an excellent play on defense, and he ran step for step with Sean Collins. Sean Collins is complaining to the official that Kirby Jackson was holding him. But you got to remember one thing. Once that ball is in the air, the defensive man has just as much right to that ball as the offensive man has.
Don't forget, at halftime, we'll join Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson in New York, NFL Live, with all the scores and highlights from other games. And Bob will talk with Rick Riley, the writer from Sports Illustrated, discussing his recent column about John Elway. Minute 55 left in the first half. 3rd and 8. Back at the 18-yard line. The delay to settle. And he is going to come up short, I believe. Yes. A little bit short of the first down. They're the 26.
They're going to measure this one, too. And I'm kind of surprised that the Bills, with a minute 41 seconds, are not taking a timeout, because they still have 2 timeouts left and are only ahead by 4. And they were, if in fact it is a 4th down, I would have, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take a field or a timeout. No, they made it.
They've got it by the nose of the football, do they? Wait a minute. stretch him, and they do. Here's a quick look. Put it down and get it out of here.
They want to hurry up.
Falcons still have 3 timeouts left. And they let the clock roll.
Chris Miller has a strong arm. You don't hear that much about him, but he has a strong arm. The offense, he's been limited because of the play calling from the sideline.
And a lot of people in the Northeast may not have heard a lot about Chris Miller because he's playing for a 2-16, but he is going to be one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL before his career is over. There's the shovel pitch to John Settle. Plenty of room to move. Needs to get to the sideline and does so, stopping the clock with a first down out to the 43-yard line.
Well, we know how fast Settle is, and Chris Miller makes a heads-up play to the shovel pass to Settle. He was just an outlet receiver, but watch number 55, Cornelius Bennett. You talk about his great speed. Watch this. He is the man that catches Settle. That speed.
Started back at the 6-yard line. It's now out near the 43, where it's 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Going with 3 wide receivers in this one. As Miller goes for the quick out, and it's complete. Another first down for the Atlanta Falcons. It goes to Stacey Bailey.
Chris Miller has been sacked, 26 times, but this man will stay in there. Now, here comes Stacey Bailey. He comes downfield and comes back to the ball. That's Kirby Jackson. Number 47 is covering him. All I want to do is pick up 10, 12 yards because they still have plenty of time. There's 1:05, and they have not used one of their timeouts yet. Give credit to this offensive line because they're keeping the Bills right at the line of scrimmage.
Jones in a wingback position again. Miller throwing on 1st and 10, and flags down to the play. Dead ball penalty coming up. Let's see if it's the 5-yard variety against the Atlanta Falcons offense.
78 offense.
They call it on the left tackle, Mike Ken. So we'll bring up a 1st and 15 situation.
Well, when you're playing over Bruce Smith, you're going to have some false starts.
Tampa Bay gets the score. Trailing by 14 now to Cleveland. And Cleveland in that game has had a couple of interception returns for touchdowns by Thane Gash and Hanford Dixon.
Great name, isn't it? Thane Gash.
He was meant to play football with that name.
Oh, yeah, we did Cleveland a couple of times. He's a good player.
All the scores and highlights with Bob Costas on NFL Live at halftime.
They got to put some time back on the clock, Joel, because...
Please set the game clock to 1:05.
Thank you, Bob.
1:05, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. See how courteous he is? That's how you get the thing done. Now they got 1:05 back on the clock.
65 seconds left in the first half. Atlanta has trailed throughout, but they're only down by 4. Only one man in the backfield. That's John Settle. They put trips to the wide side of the field, and they run it in that direction with Settle. Nothing doing. Bruce Smith gets outside along with the linebacker, Shane Conlon. They close the play up in a hurry.
Gives you an idea how valuable Shane Conlon is to this team. I mean, that play looked like it was going to go someplace on the outside, and the blocker, Shane Conlon, just gets rid of the blocker and makes the play.
So now the Atlanta Falcons, will use their first time out of the first half with 57 seconds remaining. As Chris Miller discusses it with the backup quarterback involved as well, Hugh Millett, who they picked up on waivers last year from the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams wanted to reclaim Millett. That was a fiasco when Millen and Dills were both put on waivers. The Rams wanted to bring back both quarterbacks, and they were both claimed by Atlanta. Dills eventually released, though. So Chris Miller hasn't thrown it all that much, but he's made it count now in this drive, late in the first half.
On that last formation, Atlanta came up, and they had Sean Collins, number 85, in the slot, but they ran the play because he's a big kid and he can block very well. He's one of the better blockers for wide receivers. Now, if they put him in the slot again, usually when you have a guy in the slot, he is the primary target. And it'll to be something across, maybe across the middle, in the center of the field, because that's where the biggest opening is.
Collins leads the team with 29 receptions. He was a tight end in college. He's got great size. He's a good blocker downfield. He goes at 6'2", 210. Second, just about 13, and is almost intercepted by Smith. They wanted to set up the screen to John Settle. And it was almost right between the numbers of Bruce Smith.
Darryl Talley talking to Smith. He said, "You had one. You had one."
Phenomenal talent.
Right of your screen, Bruce Smith is up in the air, and he got hit right between the 7 and the 8. If it hit him in the hands, he might have had it. Too much tape on your hands, Bruce.
3rd and 13. Back at their own 49. Miller moving the pocket. Wide open. He's got a receiver. Can he hang on? Batted around, and it falls incomplete. Sean Collins should have been able to come up with the catch.
Well, it wasn't directly in the middle of the field, but Sean Collins, that ball hits him right in the numbers, and Chris Miller is upset, not with himself, but with Sean Collins. Here he comes down in the middle. Now watch this. He'll set up right there. That's where usually the opening is when they play that prevent defense, and almost makes the catch. And that was, I think it was number 20. Was that Sutton? Yeah, Sutton comes in and knocks the ball away.
Scott Fulhay into punt for the 3rd time today. Still plenty of time for the Buffalo Bills once they get the ball back.
They don't have anybody back.
Good hang time. As the Falcons get down there, does it go in the end zone? It does. Mistake by the Atlanta special teams, because they were down there in plenty of time. And the first one down there was Albert Shelley, the reserve defensive back. Appeared to have a shot at keeping it at around the 2-yard line.
Well, he's looking directly in the sun, Joel, and he lost the ball right here, and the ball hits off of him, and he can't control it. When he looked up, actually, he could catch the ball if he wanted to, but he lost it.
So a break for the Buffalo Bills.
36 seconds, 2 timeouts. They'll just run this thing out, I think, and just regroup. That's all they're going to. Kelly's going to take a knee. I don't think they're going to throw it under and reach like 10 yards behind Kelly in the backfield.
They'll be happy to head into the halftime locker room with a 4-point lead. And with the ball at the 36-yard line, though, that was their best field position to start a drive in the entire first half.
And one of the things we talked to the Buffalo Bills about yesterday, thinking about the Tampa Bay game a year ago when they went down there with it wrapped up and looking at home field advantage, and went down there. Tampa, not a very good football team, and they got beat by him, and they were thinking about maybe the same thing. Here's a team that nobody respects, Atlanta. Very few people respect is Atlanta, and they were worried about the way the players were going to react to this football game.
It was the mental preparation they focused on all week long, because they didn't feel like they were mentally prepared when they headed down to Tampa Bay, and that's what they really wanted to avoid.
They're playing like they don't want to lose the game, not like they want to win the ball game. And the one thing I think the Buffalo Bills are going to have to do in this series of downs, because if you take a look at the rushing yardage of the Bills, practically nil. What you have to do is they're going to have to start throwing the ball on first down, get Atlanta out of that defense that's guarding against the run, and put the ball up in the air.
I believe he told us yesterday, and they'll have to throw a little bit more in the second half with Jim Kelly, who got off to a solid start in the first half. Kelly overall 8 of 11 for 106 yards, 111 yards actually, as we're underway in the second half. It'll be Don Beebe, 3 yards in his end zone. After the long kick by McFadden, he'll stay right there. And the Bills will start with it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. But I believe he told us yesterday they anticipated a lot of 8-man fronts from the Atlanta Falcons. So let's see if they mix things up a little bit more and throw on first down to try to soften up that big defensive front.
Not throwing a ball to the tight end. Pete Metzelaars, number 88. Excellent blocker and a big target.
Either tight end for either team caught a pass in the first half of play. Thurman Thomas, the only one to the backfield. Kennebrew in motion. Now they send Flip Johnson over to the same side as Andre Reed. 1st and 10 from the 20. It's Thurman Thomas turning the corner for a little bit better than 4 yards. Evan Cooper forcing him out on that side, the strong safety. Well, this is somewhat surprising to me, Paul, that the Buffalo Bills, with such a balanced attack offensively, only 13 yards on the ground. They started the day with the third best overall offense in the NFL, going up against the 25th defense in the league. Actually, the 16th best defense in the league of the Atlanta Falcons. But most teams have been able to move the ball to a certain extent against Atlanta. And Buffalo, let's face it, they come in scoring more points than any other team in the league. 221 to start the day.
And again, they've got to put the ball up in the air.
2nd and 6, the ball at the 24. Thurman Thomas gets the call again. Tim Green forced it out. He may not have made the tackle, but he strung it out to the far side. Thomas dropped at the original line of scrimmage.
And Evan Cooper comes up and makes the play. They've got some excellent coverage on the outside. Tuggle is out there. All right, we're looking at the center of the line, and they just cut everybody down. But when Thurman Thomas tries to break it to the outside, there's just no place to go. Green is there. Tuggle is there. Cooper is there. And again, Joel, they're just sitting up on that defensive line. They're only getting down with about 4 or 5 or 6 guys. But what's happening is the linebackers are moving up and creating an 8-man line. And it's very difficult to run against it.
Bills hit just a little bit better than 50% of the third down conversions in the first half. This is a 3rd and 6 from the 24. Kelly out of the shotgun, off the fingertips of Johnson. Intercepted. Intercepted by Shelley. Inside the 20. Down inside the 10. Forced out at the 6-yard line.
Deion Sanders is hurt. He was the man on the coverage, and he is limping about the 45-yard line. But that's a heads-up play by the defense. And again, I'm telling you, you're sitting there with that conservative offense against this team. And the defense is just sitting there waiting for something to happen. And when you let the defense control the ball game, you're not going to move your offense. Now, here it comes. Deion Sanders is coming across. Here's Flip Johnson. The ball hits him in his hands. Now, Deion right there, I don't know whether he pulled a muscle or not. But this ball hits Flip Johnson in the hands. It goes up in the air. The interception is made. And when you see Shelley coming down, they bring the ball back down inside the 10-yard line. This is what a team like Atlanta has been waiting for all afternoon.
The tight end Wilkins out of the backfield to give the settled, stacked up right at the original line. Ball's forward from maybe a yard close to the 5. Met there by Art Still, the left tackle. So the first turnover of the contest is picked off by the Atlanta Falcons.
You know, settled is a great back. There's no question about that, Joe. But again, here we are on the other side of the line with the Buffalo Bills stacked up on the offense, on the defensive line, right on the offense. They've got too many people up there to block, and you're trying to run the ball in the middle. Get outside.
Now, let's remind our viewers that weren't with us in the first half. Chris Miller doesn't have options. He is not allowed to audible. Moving to the line, flags in the air. It appeared the Bills man jumped off, fired into the end zone, and it's in and out of the hands of the wide receiver, the tight end, Ron Heller. Kelso is defending the play, but it may be a free down for Atlanta.
It's against Buffalo.
Little zip on that pass from Chris Miller.
Well, he had to fire it in there because there was, I mean, the coverage was there, and Heller was
Offside, 72, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance, 2nd down.
That's hard still, but you know, Heller was covered that time by Kelso, and Miller just had to fire the ball in. I like the call. I like the call, Dennis. Don't try to run that ball, jam it right up in the middle. Now you've got a 2nd down situation and a little over 3 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go wide.
Stack him up in the eye. Jones, the tailback, will get the call. Spinning his way near the goal line. He is stopped just short, inches away from the goal line by Cornelius Bennett. Jones is the rookie from Illinois, their 3rd-round draft choice this year.
All right, that time they didn't go wide, but they didn't go right up the middle either. They went right off to the left-hand side to the tackle position, and Jones is spinning. Now watch, you'll see the ball hits about the 1-foot line. Did not have the touchdown. Good call by the official. But I believe 2 and 16, no matter what happens, this is 4-down territory. You don't want to come away from this position here with a field goal.
3rd and goal for Atlanta. Jones settle. Heller, the tight end in motion. It's Keith Jones over the top. Touchdown, Falcons.
Over the top. Now they're going to the left-hand side to King and Clayton's side, or Ken and Clayton's side, and there's just no question about it. He went over top of everybody. Here it comes. Heller's coming out. He gets a good block. Settle comes in. He gets an excellent block, and over the top goes Jones. Remember, a 2 and 16. Extra points good. A 2 and 16. This team was always behind when they were losing ball games, Joel.
They've got the lead now early in the first half on that 1-yard touchdown run by Keith Jones. Back to Atlanta on a magnificent afternoon. Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. The Atlanta Falcons have their first lead of the day. On top of the Bills by 3 as McFadden kicks it away to Beebe. Beebe will take it to the 4. Gets a couple of blocks into the outside, but spinning back to the middle, he's put down right at the 20-yard line. Great vertical leap on that touchdown, Paul.
There was, but they're also Settle and Heller, 80 and 44, got good blocks. Bentley went underneath. So did Conlon. And Jones goes over the top. That's beautiful play. You know, when I was saying Atlanta was behind, the reason I'm saying that is in the first half, they were getting blown away in the first half, and they just didn't have the offensive power to come back in the second half to catch up. They stayed close to Buffalo at 7-3 at the halftime. Got a great turnover by the defense to put the offensive position to score, and that's what they need.
What a tough way for that defensive unit to give up their first rushing TD in 4 games. Well, the offense gets it first and goal at the 6. Play action, Kelly throwing on 1st and 10. Wide open to the tight end. It's McKellar for a first down past the 40 to the 41-yard line. And finally, Paul, they get it to the tight end you were just talking about. Tuggle back on the coverage. The inside linebacker making the hit. Oh, Cleveland taking out their frustrations on Tampa Bay.
And Miami.
Indianapolis really having their problems, losing last week to New England. And New England losing today by 11 to the New York Jets. Los Angeles Rams trying to stay away from their 4th straight defeat.
Minnesota with 5 field goals.
Johnson will go in motion. It's a 1st and 10 for the Bills. They're on 41-yard line. Thurman Thomas on the carry. Leading his way across the 45. Flags down on the play. He's up close to the 48-yard line. John Rady, the inside linebacker, in on the stop.
You just talked about that last play. Jim Kelly, the play-action pass to Keith McKellar, the tight end. I mean, that's the one way you get the defense, the linebackers off the line of scrimmage.
Holding, 28, offense, 10 yards, first down.
And that's another way of stopping a drive.
That's on Larry Kennebrew.
Kennebrew coming out to the outside. Watch his arms. You cannot wrap your arms around Jesse Tuggle, number 58. And when you do that, that's a tackle.
So Kennebrew can't get the block. Picks up the holding call. The 5th penalty against the Buffalo Bills. A 10-yard mark off. They'll make it 1st and 20 now, back at the 32-yard line.
Talk about Ken Hall in a minute. An interesting thing he told us yesterday about holding.
Kelly over the middle. Reed with a great grab down to the 40-yard line of Atlanta. They say he was down at the 40. The whistle was blown. Charles Dimmery providing the coverage. Reed just out-jumped the secondary.
He's got such tremendous concentration. Andre Bruce is underneath him, number 93, the linebacker, and Dimmery's coming in. But look at where this ball is put. Andre Reed keeps total concentration on the ball. There's nothing you could do. The pass was perfect. The blocking up front was perfect. And you hit him right in the hands, Jim.
And if I was in Andre Reed's spot, I would have gotten back up and run too. Didn't look like he was touched. 1st and 10. Down to the 40-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. 10 minutes, 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 3-point Atlanta lead at 10-7. Thurman Thomas looking for the hole. He finds the seam. There goes Thurman Thomas. Down to the 20. All the way to the 10-yard line. Evan Cooper, the strong safety, prevented the touchdown.
Well, you know, he made such a great run last week against Miami, and this is almost basically the same thing coming back. The blocking in the offensive line. The play was designed to go to the right, to his right. But Thurman Thomas just sees that the line is caved in. Richer, Haller, all in there making blocks. So he just cuts it back to the outside. Andre Reed didn't get a great block. All he had to do was get a piece of his man, and that's face mask against Thurman Thomas and then call it.
They say he was out of bounds at the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Started all the way back at the Bills' 20-yard line, and Kelly is going to use a very early second-half timeout. The crowd into it at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. We'll be right back to see what the Bills decide to do on 1st and 10 to the 11-yard line. By 3, and welcome back to Fulton County Stadium. I'm Joel Meyers alongside Paul Maguire. Very rarely did either one of these offensive units throw the ball on 1st down in the first half. The Bills are starting it.
And see what happens. It takes the linebackers out of the game now, because when they're sitting in there close and you're going to try to run the ball, even on that last play by Thurman Thomas, the hole wasn't there where they were blocking. He cuts back to the inside and then goes to his left and picks up almost a touchdown, picks up a 1st down at the 11-yard line. That's heads-up running by that man.
Thurman Thomas, the NFL's leader in total yards from scrimmage to start the day with 1,050, 650 on the ground, 400 more on the receiving end. Some kind of threat. Young man from Oklahoma State. So far today, total of 75 yards. 1st and 10 to the Atlanta 11-yard line. Kelly with time has a man. It's McKellar. Touchdown, Buffalo. Just like that, the Buffalo Bills regain the lead.
How explosive this team is. Jim Kelly, you know, really missed a lot of beats, didn't he, by being out for 3 weeks? But Keller was the tight end, comes off the line of scrimmage. He runs a play-action pass here to Thurman Thomas, and then McKellar goes to the left of the screen. He goes inside, and he takes Evan Cooper to the inside, and he breaks back to the outside, and you have a linebacker, Jesse Tuggle, trying to cover a tight end. Sorry, it's not going to work.
All of a sudden, they're looking for the tight end as well. Tight ends didn't catch a pass in the first half.
There's usually only one guy on him, and most of the time, especially up in the first 12 or 14 yards of a pattern, it's going to be a linebacker covering a tight end.
Scott Norwood has the extra point. And the Buffalo Bills, with 9 minutes and 54 seconds, countered that score by Keith Jones with one from McKellar and lead it by 4. The Buffalo Bills regain the lead on the touchdown pass to McKellar. It only took a little bit better than 2 minutes off the clock, covering 80 yards in 4 plays. Jim Kelly excited on that touchdown pass. Paul, it was almost as if the Bills offensive unit said, okay, guys, let's get serious.
Let's start throwing the ball. All right, you see how the ball is turned? Now, we talked to Marv Levy yesterday about what Scott Norwood's going to try to do. They're going to try to kick the ball to the side of the field to pin. Well, this time he kicked it down the middle to Deion.
Deion Sanders, his best try of the day from the 4. Great coverage. He fumbles. The Buffalo Bills, I believe, have it. Mickey Sutton, yes, Mickey Sutton with a fumble recovery. The Bills get it back on the Falcons' first turnover of the day.
They're going to take a look at this, I can guarantee you, to see if he was down.
Now they're saying he was down. Mickey Sutton initially came out. They're saying he was down to the 22-yard line.
Primetime almost had his lights put out here. His neon sign almost got blotted out. Here he comes, and he's going to slip, and as he does, he's going down, and he just gets drilled by Jamie Mueller, number 39.
Tough call to make. And now we'll take another look. Miller and the offensive unit were coming up to the ball to get ready to snap it.
All right, here comes Deion.
Down by contact.
Down by contact. Well, he's down here, so he's already down. His knees are on the ground, so once he's hit, again, the ground can't cause a fumble, but in this case, Jamie Mueller caused the fumble.
So the second best kickoff coverage in the NFL, containing primetime Deion Sanders so far this afternoon. Dixon's the motion man. 1st and 10 play action for Miller. Throwing it as pattern was taken to the sideline. He threw it over the middle. Leonard Smith, the closest one to that. Break down the communication between Dixon and the quarterback.
He was throwing to Dixon, supposed to be going into the middle of the field, and Dixon broke it to the outside instead of to the inside.
There's a surprise. Detroit with a 3-point lead. Their first lead of the day over the Houston Oilers at Houston.
Minnesota. 6 field goals
from Rich Garlis. It's now 2nd and 10. The ball at the Atlanta 22-yard line. 9 minutes, 38 seconds left in the third quarter. A 14-10 Bills lead. Lang out of the backfield, leading Settle, who gets it under the leg. Big hole up the middle. Settle rumbles his way past the 25 near the 29-yard line. We'll say he was touched down. His knee was down to the 28. Gain of 6 on the carry for John Settle. Their leading rusher coming in.
It's one thing you saw motion that time by Jones, and when you have motion, it'll take linebackers out of the play, and it'll take people out of the middle, and then you just run a little trap up the middle and pick up 6 yards on the play.
Atlanta already has more yardage on the ground for the first 2.5 quarters that the Bills have given up in their previous 3 games. Miller throwing again, going deep, looking for Stacey Bailey. He's got it inside the 40. He was working on Mickey Sutton. It's complete near the 31-yard line.
Bruce Smith was right in Chris Miller's face. I mean, he's got the rush on. All right, here comes Bruce Smith up the middle. He gets by the center, who's Dukes, and he's in Miller's face. Miller just lets the ball go. But the catch downfield, watch this. This is just beautiful. Stacey Bailey keeping his eye on the ball. Sutton is there. The coverage is there. Bailey makes a play. We've seen some great catches today.
Are we watching the same 2 teams we saw in the first half?
I don't think so. They didn't change. Got some new players. They got some different game plans than what they did. Miller's taking timeout. He didn't like the call.
Stacey Bailey, as you saw with that last number, almost a 26-yard average last year. A big play receiver in the pass for the Atlanta Falcons. There's the time of the field. Charge to the Atlanta Falcons. We'll be right back to Fulton County Stadium with 8:51 left in the third.
Bailey, pull it down right here. He pulls his arm away. There is some pushing and shoving, but Bailey has total concentration on the ball. Makes a heck of a catch and 41-yard gain.
41-yard reception and quite a toss. So you see the 2 combatants. Sutton to your right, Bailey to your left. But a good throw under a lot of heat from Chris Miller. 1st and 10. The ball all the way down to the 31-yard line of the Bills. Lang out of the backfield, Smurless jumping offside. Was he drawn offside, though?
Encroachment, 76, defense, 5 yards.
So that's your first reaction. Once you jump offside, you point at somebody. Here comes Freddie Smurless. But there was movement. I mean, he didn't see that. He's pointing to the inside. But there was movement by Wilkins, number 87, who's a tight end. Once he gets set, he's not supposed to be able to move.
5 free yards. That is the 6th penalty against the Buffalo Bills. Don't forget the second half of our doubleheader. The Raiders at home taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders under new head coach Art Scheller trying to bring back that Raider tradition. They're doing a pretty good job of it already under Scheller, who's got a 3-1 record as the head coach. Miller throwing on 1st and 5. Going deep. He's got Dixon. Touchdown Atlanta. There's a flag behind the play as I believe they roughed the quarterback, Chris Miller. Bruce Smith was all over Chris Miller after he released it.
You know, this is really a tough call because
Roughing the passer, 78 defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
now this penalty is going to be enforced on the kickoff. Watch Bruce Smith. He's already come through 2 players, and I think the call is because he hits him in the head with his helmet. I mean, there's just no way that Bruce Smith can slow down. He's already gone through the left tackle, who is Ken, and then he comes up and he has to go through John Settle, who is the back, and his forward progress is not going to be able to slow down. He's not going to be able to slow down, but the fact that he hit him in the head is where the call is made. Now, that's interesting about tacking it on after the kick, isn't it? We'll get to that in a moment.
In for the point after try.
They Odoms
Just a few flags down, just a few.
76, offense.
Well, Nate Odoms came flying in, Joel, and McFadden went up to kick the ball and stopped. And Nate Odoms went flying right by the ball. He thought he was going to block it, but it was already stopped. Watch this. Watch McFadden. He stops. There goes Nate.
Wait a minute. Am I taking a divot there? McFadden was talking about kicking without a shoe earlier this week and said kicking with a shoe, because he works barefooted. Kicking with a shoe is like trying to pick up a dime with a glove on. 5 yards further back, it doesn't make any difference to McFadden. And Atlanta, a seesaw affair so far in the second half, has the lead again by 3. Great throw again by Miller with a lot of pressure.
I mean, he's got a lot of heat coming from the right-hand side of the screen, and that's Bruce Smith. But this ball, look at this ball, is right on target. There has to be a breakdown. That's Dixon catching the ball in the end zone, but there had to be a breakdown in coverage, and the guy on that side is Kirby Jackson. Here comes the rush. You see Bruce Smith has to go through 2 people. The call is made because he hit him in the head. Now, weren't we told a week ago that on a touchdown?
They will assess this one on the kickoff, on the personal foul call.
They said on a touchdown that the penalty isn't enforced, only on an extra point. No.
Cleveland still leading by 18. Chicago has their first lead of the day at Green Bay. Lohr's 10-yard touchdown run is the difference for Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. And the Rams appear to be headed on their way to their 4th straight loss after picking up 5 wins out of the gate this year. McFadden will kick it away from the 50. Maybe you can forget about that one. It'll be a touchback. And the Bills will get it for the 3rd time in the second half, starting with the ball all 3 times at their own 20-yard line. So it was a 26-yard touchdown pass, and a perfect one at that from Chris Miller to Dixon. It only took a little bit better than 2 minutes for the Bills to take the lead. They've made it a 4-play, 80-yard drive. Falcons say, okay, take this. 4-play, 78 yards.
Getting exciting. And Kelly has all the confidence in the world in this offensive line. I don't care what he said about Ballard before when he got hurt. But Wolford, Richard, Paul Devlin, and Ballard have been together all year long. And these guys are playing well. And when a quarterback and running backs have that much confidence, they can move the ball.
Kelly throwing again on 1st and 10. Pressure comes, gets away. Now he's hit, he goes down. He had fumbled it, but they said he was already in the grass. Back at the 10-yard line. Tony Casillas. Also in there, Ben Thomas.
I'm so glad I said he has confidence in the offensive line. They're doing such a great job.
Here comes
the breakdown. Ben Thomas, number 72, is in there right in Kelly's face. Casillas is there. I mean, this has been fired up. This team scored. They got a 15-yard penalty because Bruce Smith hit the quarterback in the head, and it's carried back over with his defensive team.
It was assessed on the kickoff only because it was a personal foul, the 15-yard mark-off. Now it's 2nd and 20, all the way back at the 10-yard line. Thurman Thomas on the carry. Forget about it. He is smothered under. He fumbles the ball. Who's got it? Loose ball around the 11-yard line. They're still scrambling. Atlanta's got it. Robert Moore with the fumble recovery. And already in the first 7 minutes of the second half, the Atlanta Falcons come up with a 2nd turnover inside the 20-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, again, they were passing the ball in that last series of downs. Now, here comes the blocking. Ken Hall, 67, is there. Thurman Thomas does not read the block. I think Ken Hall did a great job on blocking Casillas, but Thurman ran right up the back, and then he dropped the ball.
No doubt it was a fumble. Robert Moore with the recovery. 1st and 10 Atlanta at the Buffalo 11-yard line. They lead it by 3. It's Keith Jones. Starting to the right, angled to the middle, and got a couple. Inside the 9 near the 8-yard line. Native of St. Louis, Missouri, went to the University of Illinois. And And they are very high, to say the least, on Keith Jones. Catches the ball well out of the backfield. He caught a lot of passes at the University of Illinois in a passing attack.
Man, they really like this young man. You know, this is a team, Atlanta, that has actually 3 rookies starting. They had a great draft, and next year, the Atlanta Falcons, they have 2 first-round picks.
Miller throwing on 2nd and 8. Going up for Collins, who can't hang on. Dropped around the 3-yard line. He was working on Nate Odoms. Again, though, Miller put it right in his hands.
We were talking about what kind of quarterback Miller is. Now, here comes Collins. He's in motion. He comes back to the outside. This ball is perfect. There's just no reason to drop this ball. It looks like it hit him right in the hands, but he looked like he was fighting the ball.
It's outside of the 8. 3rd and 7. Clock is stopped. 7 minutes, 18 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Trips to the right side for Chris Miller, who's rolling in that direction, gets plenty of time. Throwing it out of the end zone. Avoiding a sack or a potential turnover by putting it up for grabs. And they'll try to get 3 points.
Well, he had Jeff right in his face, and Cornelius Bennett was in his face, and Chris Miller did the right thing. He just threw the ball away. Let's take 3 and come away.
The pocket for Chris Miller, and initially he had plenty of time, but they punched those receivers into the corner of the end zone.
And that's the problem when you're rolling to the short side of the field, Joel, and there's just no place to go, and all of your receivers are there. It only takes 1 or 2 defensive backs to cover 4 people.
McFadden is 3 of 3 between the 20 and 29. This is going to be a 26-yard attempt from the 16-yard line. He is 1 of 2 on the afternoon. He missed a 45-yarder. After making a 49-yarder, that was taken off the board because of a penalty. So he turned around and he hit his career best, a 54-yard field goal. Here comes the 26-yard attempt. It's perfect. So they get 3 more points on the second turnover of the first 7 minutes of the second half. The ball coughed up again by the Buffalo Bills. It's now the biggest lead of the day for the Atlanta Falcons as they go up by 6.
Oj Fazio. Look at McFadden's reaction here, Joel. Quarterback, holder, Chris Miller. 3 more points.
Let's update you on the scores. Week number 9 of the NFL season. Detroit clinging to that 3-point lead. The Houston Oilers, that would be a huge upset. Wayne Fonts and his young group. Jets looking for their second win on top. And Minnesota trying to bounce back from a turnover-filled game on Monday night.
And the Minnesota Vikings have still not got their offense on track. I mean, you're looking at 6 field goals in this ball game.
So what you're telling me is when they get it on track, it's going to be scary with Herschel Walker in the backfield.
Yeah, but I like to see them put some more wide open football than they're playing.
They've got some great wide receivers in Minnesota. Baby back again, along with Kenneth Davis. McFadden ready to go after hitting the 26-yard field goal. It'll be Beebe with a flag down at the point of the place kick. Beebe going up top, taking a tumble down near the 24, close to the 25-yard line. He was upended by Robert Moore, the young man who made the fumble recovery, but there was a flag where you normally see an offside call on the kickoff team. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. Is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL is prohibited. This game is the property of the NFL, also the Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. All rights reserved.
And I think Buffalo's going to take the penalty and make him kick it again. Well, especially with a guy like Beebe back there. The kickoff team goes back to and said, hey, pal, get it out of here. This is a long way to making this trip down here twice in a row.
You don't want to give Beebe, though, who's got that great speed back there, a second chance. So it could be a costly mistake before it's all over. Let's see what turns out, though. Beebe was down the first time at the 24-yard line. This Atlanta Falcon team is not playing like a team that has dropped 5 of their last 6. A lot of people don't realize, though, 3 of those 5 losses came very late in the fourth quarter of play. They could have easily beaten the New Orleans Saints last week. They lost that game 20-13.
They had Indianapolis 9-0. Lost to them.
Iowa with a short one. This time Kenneth Davis from the 12. Davis wanted the block from Beebe. It didn't develop. He's still on his feet. Out to the 28-yard line. So it did not hurt the Atlanta Falcons all that much. Galen Thaxton making the stop.
Pretty good numbers, huh?
Not bad for missing the last 3 weeks. We saw that last week, though. Bobby Brister missed 2 weeks with a severely sprained right knee, or left knee, rather. And he came back and he put together a solid effort.
I would like to see sometime and really have statisticians take a look at that interception on Kelly's. You know, when you hit a guy in the hands with the ball and it goes off of his hands, that should not be credited to the quarterback or to the receiver.
First and 10. Marking to the 29. Solo up Andre Reed against Dimring. Dimring holds on until he gets some help. And it's only out to the 33-yard line for a gain of 4.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is where you can really get somebody hurt. This time it was a linebacker that got hurt, but I'm talking about Andre Reed when Dimring's just holding him up and then coming from the inside to take a shot. Ben Thomas was there.
Jesse Tuggle is the injured Atlanta Falcon.
I just wonder if he got hit by his own man, because Demery was holding up Andre Reed.
I don't think there's any doubt, Paul, that he was hit by his own man.
All right, here it comes. You're going to see Demery. He's going to hold up Reed here. He's doing his job. Tuggle comes from the outside, and here comes Ben Thomas, number 72. And I don't see there where he gets hit unless he got hit in the side by his own man, which would have been Ben Thomas, number 72.
It was right at the end of the play.
All right, here it is here. There's Tuggle's number 58. Now watch this. His own man hits him in the back.
The right arm, right elbow of Ben Thomas.
Yeah.
Joel Williams will replace now Jesse Tuggle at the inside linebacker position. And don't forget, next Saturday, NBC Sports presents final round coverage of the Isuzu Kapalua International. Golf's greatest players shooting for $650,000 in prize money. That's next Saturday on NBC Sports. Thurman Thomas leading his way through traffic across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Dumped down by Ben Thomas. It'll bring up 3rd and short under 6 minutes left in the 3rd.
All right, we're looking at the offensive line play now. Ben Thomas gets rid of his blocker, and then he gets right up into the hole. Stops it for like a 3-yard gain. That's just hustled down the line of scrimmage because he is the right end coming all the way to the left side to make the play.
Jesse Tuggle is headed into the locker room as they will take some x-rays. The inside linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. 3rd and 3. Kelly with plenty of time throwing it into traffic. It's incomplete. Flags on the play, though, as they were all over the back of Andre Reed. Case was in there early. Also on the coverage, Tim Gordon, the free safety. You couldn't even see the blue jersey almost.
And Demery was there also. I mean, everybody, you talk about surrounded and throwing the ball to the wrong man.
They had the coverage. They just hit the man too early.
They're going to call pass interference on the defense. And Case is just livid.
Haven't talked about Case too much.
25 defense. First down.
He led the league in interceptions last year.
All right, here's the play to Andre Reed. Now, Case is 25. And 41 is Gordon. Watch this. He hits Andre. He beat the ball there. The ball was off target in the first place. He just beats the ball there and knocks Andre Reed down. I don't know if Andre could have caught it anyway.
First and 10. They'll go for Andre Reed again. It's complete in front of Charles Dimry. A short game of the completion down to the 44-yard line. They definitely bailed Jim Kelly out of that last one with the call, though, because he threw into double coverage, and there was no way in the world Reed could get to it.
There wasn't, and the worst part about it, he threw the ball behind Reed, and I don't think he could have caught it anyway.
Second and short, second and 4. The 6-yard completion. Down to the tight end has that touchdown pass in motion. Thurman Thomas looking for the first down. Dances his way to the outside, and I believe he got it. He's very close to the first down marker. Such quick feet.
Joel, this is excellent running by Thurman Thomas because there was no hole, and they were stringing it out to the outside. That's Evan Cooper, number 20, that came up limping. But this is the thing about what makes a great back, to make something happen. 71 yards so far and 15 carries. But that 3 yards he picked up there, he picked up basically on his own.
77 yards after picking up last week, 148 yards.
Kelly wants them to measure this thing. And they will.
Very close to the 40-yard line. They don't have it. They're short by only a matter of inches. Up next for the Buffalo Bills, a key divisional matchup. Paul will be there next Sunday in Buffalo. The Bills face the Indianapolis Colts, and I guess you could say they owe them one.
Yeah, they do. The Bills beat everybody in their division last year twice except one team in Indianapolis. They lost to them there last year. And this year, beginning of the season, they lost to the Colts. And even Marv Levy said it was a terrible football game. We had no business being on the field that afternoon. I mean, they were awful. And ever since then, they've come back and put this defense back together. Indianapolis is losing to Miami today. If the Bills should win, it puts them up 3 games on them.
Face Indianapolis with Miami in second place next Sunday. Pitch to Thurman Thomas, trying to cut it back. No hole available. On first and 10, he gets about 3 down to the 37-yard line. Good pursuit, though. Joel Williams, the first one on the stop for the Atlanta Falcons. The 4th offensive series of the second half. The Buffalo Bills a much more wide open half for both offensive units. Starting back at the 28-yard line. Now they've got it at the Atlanta 37. Bills have it. They trail by 6. Kelly, plenty of time, rifles it. It's complete. Goes down to Flip Johnson for a first down to the 25-yard line. Working on Charles Dimry.
Just taking the short patterns. You know, I started something in the first half about Ken Hall was talking to us yesterday, and Ken said about holding penalties. He said, you know, I'll stay with the man, but if a guy beats me cleanly at the line of scrimmage, and as happens, he said, I'm going to tackle him because I'm not going to let them get to the quarterback and a free shot at him. And of course, we also talked to Fred Smirlis yesterday, and he said if the Bills should happen to lose this game today, no one will ever be able to interview him again before a game because the last time that they did, they lost, and that was at Indianapolis.
First and 10 from outside the 25. Kelly again with a pocket holding it up, and it's off the fingertips of Metzelars. He's looking for his first completion of the afternoon. 3:12 left in the third. Second and 10 outside of the 25. Kelly over the middle. McKellar's got it. It'll be first and goal, close to the 2-yard line. They've just received word they're x-raying the left hand. Inside linebacker Jesse Douglas, one of the real leaders on this defensive unit. Now McKellar comes up hobbling.
Look at Kelly where he throws this ball. You know, when you've got Johnson and Reed on the outside, Kelly loves to throw to the tight end. In a situation like this, look at, and he hits McKellar right in the seam. There's absolutely no one around him. When I say that, I mean, they're outside, but no one around him within 3 yards.
goal. The ball to the 2-yard line. Jamie Mueller leaving the blocking for Thurman Thomas. He's in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Nice block by Jim Richer as well to the outside.
Jim Richer last year was rated, when they score him, as the best offensive lineman on the Buffalo Bills football team, number 51. And he also came in with Fred Smirlis yesterday and had a sandwich. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He just wanted to eat.
Smirlis also told us he was rated the 3rd best lineman in the NFL.
That's right. He also said that the only reason Richard came in to eat so he can save his $21 per diem money.
We apologize. We've been experiencing audio problems. Hopefully those are rectified and corrected. Job well done by Richard. And now Norwood tries to give the Bills the lead by a point. The chip shot is through. And it culminates a 9-play, 71-yard drive. That touchdown run, the 2-yarder by Thurman Thomas.
And the excellent block of Jamie Mueller, 39, and Jim Richard, number 51, pulling out. First of all, there's Jamie Mueller's block. And then here's Richard to the outside. All he had to do was get a piece of the man on the outside, and they get the touchdown. That was Shelley, number 37, he blocks. But Jamie Mueller gets the block. Right there is a block, and then Richard just get a piece.
Bills now in the second half alone have an 80-yard touchdown drive, a 71-yard touchdown drive. A lot of it handled by Thurman Thomas, the young man you're looking at. Hard to believe he stuck around so long in that draft. He was a second-round pick last year, but a lot of people thought he was going to go at least in the middle to late portion of the first round.
Well, the problem was that when Thurman, I think it was his sophomore year, got hurt, he hurt his knee. And people shied away from him because they thought he had a knee problem. But he played out there against Nebraska and Oklahoma, and for 2 years had no problems with his knees. And when he told them, the Bills, he said, I have no problem with my knees.
Soft schedule in college.
Yeah.
That Colorado-Nebraska game was a classic yesterday. Thurman Thomas, former Oklahoma Stater. He had some great days in Stillwater. Deion Sanders a couple of times today has appeared like he's been injured, unable to continue, but always makes it back out there. He's ready for the kickoff return. And let's see if Norwood gets the job done, because Marv Levy wants Norwood to angle the ball to the sideline and corner it towards the goal line.
Last time he hit it straight down the middle. You can see how the ball is on an angle. What they try to do is basically pin the receiver, which is probably going to be Deion Sanders, into the sideline where he doesn't have that much room to be doing all the dancing.
So far, they have contained Deion Sanders. It goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds. Receivers get the ball. 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
Not the ultimate for Norwood, but not a long return either for Deion Sanders. Don't forget the second half of our doubleheader this afternoon on NBC. The Bengals on the road, matching up with Art Shell's LA Raiders. And we talked to Art Shell, Paul, a couple of weeks ago when they lost 10-7, a heartbreaker to the Philadelphia Eagles. And that team is rejuvenated now under Art Shell.
The Raiders are back to the Raiders, and that's what they wanted. You know, where they weren't allowed to sit on their helmets if on the sideline. Now they can do that. I guess that's part of the Raider tradition.
They have to work with Jay Schrader this week, though, because Steve Berline, their starter, who was so good last Sunday, is out with an injured knee. That's the second half. Our doubleheader on NBC. 1st and 10 at the 35 for Miller and the Falcons. Great grab by Jones. He's got a first down past the 45 to the 47. Took it in with one hand and brought it in. Cornelius Bennett on the stop.
Chris Miller just takes about a 2 or 3 step drop, and he's going to see Jones coming right over the middle. Look at the protection. I mean, they just cleared out the middle. No one's even close to him. Jones makes an excellent grab, picks up the first down. Both offensive lines are doing well.
And both offensive units are moving the ball in the third quarter. They're forgetting all about the first half, where they really had problems. Settle on the carry on 1st and 10, gets close to 5. He's down to the 47-yard line of Buffalo. When Under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And we're at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. I'm Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. Good to have you with us. A seesaw battle. A 21-20 lead now for the Buffalo Bills over the Atlanta Falcons. At halftime, Buffalo had a 7-3 lead. Both teams struggling in a big way offensively.
An exciting third quarter.
Incredible third quarter. 2nd and 5. The ball to the 47. It's Keith Jones battling his way. Close to the first down marker. He's short by a yard and a half. He's down to the 43-yard line.
This time Atlanta goes to the left-hand side where you have Ken and Clayton on that side. But watch when Jones hits in here. Now he's hit at the line of scrimmage. Now watch his legs. He never stops his legs moving. Swerlis is there. Bentley is there. Conlon's there. Picked up about 4 yards on a play. Got 3rd and 1, and we have an injured player on the field. And that's Clayton.
Stan Clayton, offensive guard for the Atlanta Falcons in his 2nd year from Penn State.
They just got him back.
The Atlanta Falcons have really had problems on the offensive line with injuries. Marion Campbell has said they haven't been healthy on the offensive line. He told us yesterday since the preseason.
I don't think they've started the same group any 2 weeks in a row. And that really is a problem. Buffalo, on the other hand, they've started 9 games now with the same offensive line. And this man here is just trying to push the right button. But in order to do that, you have to have consistency in your offensive line. This is something they've not had.
Marion Campbell also on the hot seat here in Atlanta. He is in the final year of his contract. And most of the game stories this morning focused more on Marion Campbell and what he has done since taking over his 2nd tour of duty as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, as opposed to the game this afternoon against the Buffalo Bills. He comes in today 2-6, 33-77 overall record. His seasons with both the Falcons and the Eagles. He is in the final year of his contract.
The only problem is, though, Joel, that they've got so many young players that they're building. Kenny Hirak, who's their player personnel guy, they're going out. They've got 2 number 1 draft choices next year. They're going out and getting some players. Now, if you change coaching staffs after this year, now you've got the same problem all over again. You're going to bring a whole new coaching staff in here with a whole new philosophy, offensively and defensively, saying, okay, I need 3 years to build this football team. Excuse me, this team is not that far away if they can stay healthy.
I know they got a solid offensive line coach, Jim Hannafin. He got caught at the bottom of the pile, I believe.
Yeah, he's on the bottom, and watch everybody. There's Clayton, number 74, on the bottom, and even Bentley steps on his face, but they all rolled over top of him.
Well, he's got Smerlas rolling over his knee. That's a load. After all is said and done, it brings up a 3rd and 1. Ball just inside the 43 of Buffalo. Keith Jones on the carry. Keith Jones going for the first down, lunging inside the 40 to the 39. That should be the final play of the first quarter. He seems to have that extra effort whenever he needs it to get close to the first down marker or inside the first down marker.
So when you see these guys settle the same way, that they know that the plays are called that are up in the middle, they've got to give that continuous effort.
End of 3 in Atlanta with the Bills leading by 1.
And you'll see number 58, Shane Conlon. He just got him zeroed in. Might as well catch it. You're going to get hit anyway.
That's 240 on top of 170.
Doesn't balance out very well, does it?
Ball's at the 39-yard line. It's 2nd and 10. This has been the quarter as well. They've hurt the Atlanta Falcons the most this year. 3 of their last 5 losses. Been heartbreakers in the 4th, and Settle trips over his own feet, I believe, going down to the original line of scrimmage. Was Wayne Radloff there?
He tripped over his own man.
It may have been Radloff, 55. Let's update you now on some of the scores around the NFL. Tampa Bay trying to make a valiant comeback after trailing by a huge margin to the Cleveland Browns. Still plenty of time, though. Houston has regained the lead over Detroit. We'll be right back to those scores. This big 3rd and 10 for Atlanta. 39 of Buffalo. Clock moving 14-15. Left in the 4th. Pocket holds up for Miller and throws it into the arms of Mickey Sutton, who can't hang on for the interception. He wanted settled, and now we've got a fight behind the play.
He wanted Settle, but Settle was the man that was covered by two people.
Seals and Fralick were getting into it.
Fralick is number 79, Seals is 96, and here they go. Fralick is pushing him to the outside, and he's got his hand up in his throat. And then Leon said, wait a minute. Yeah. Don't. First of all, you don't want to swing at anybody in the face mask because they're doing nothing.
4 times out of 5 possessions. They've started at their own 20. Thurman Thomas on the 1st and 10 carry, waiting for his blocking. Never developed. Gets a couple, though, to the 22-yard line. Joel Williams over on that side, along with Andre Bruce. Andre Bruce, first player selected last year's draft.
All right, McKellar's got Andre Bruce, but Andre Bruce is doing a job. Look, he strings McKellar down the line of scrimmage and waiting for some help from his friends, which he does get, and that's his job. Mike Gant came down, number 76, and makes the play, but that's all he could do. He ties up the tight end, slows down the runner, and let the backside pick up the pursuit.
I thought it was interesting what Marion Campbell said yesterday. We did that about Andre Bruce. Thurman Thomas is on his way again. Trying to break a tackle across the 25, stacked up near the 27-yard line. But back to that thought as John Rady comes away, holding his arm as he's been hurt on the play.
He gets hit in the elbow. That's Rady there. I'll watch Andre Bruce on this side of the line of scrimmage. He comes down the line and watch Jim Richard.
Just in time.
What he's got to do when he comes down that line of scrimmage, I like to see that one more time, because when he comes down the line of scrimmage, what he has to do now is close, and he didn't close. Of course, if he had closed, Richard would have taken his head off.
When we asked Marion Campbell whether he was disappointed in the play of Andre Bruce, he said, you have to remember, Bruce at Auburn did not rush a lot as the linebacker. Not like a Derek Thomas at Alabama or Cornelius Bennett. A different scheme completely. Beebe for the first down on the pass on 3rd and short, 3rd and 4 from Jim Kelly. Big conversion for the Buffalo Bills.
And all Kelly is doing in the last 2 series of downs really is just taking that 6 or 7 yard hitch, because the Atlanta Falcons defense, they're backing way off. Once Kelly reads, though, that they start coming up and playing those short passes, look out deep.
They get the first down by a couple of yards to the 32. And now they split out Thurman Thomas in a wide receiver position. Kidaboo the only one in the backfield. Kelly throwing on first down. He's got Andre Reed wide open to the 40-yard line. Looking for a block to the outside. Getting close to the first down marker. Spun down across the 40. Near the 42-yard line by Charles Dimmery.
He gets out of the tackle of Deion Sanders, and again, they're just taking that little short pop. Watch Andre Reed. He'll come down about 8 or 9 yards. Here's the pop. Deion Sanders, number 21, coming up to make the play. Reed makes a move back to the outside. Picks up 2 more yards. Heads up.
And Dimmery with that horse cover, arm drag and a toss by the back of the jersey. Kept him from picking up that first down by a little less than a yard. On second, and less than a yard, it's Thurman Thomas. He's belted. He's delivered a blow by Andre Bruce, but he still picks up the first down. 11:05 left in this one at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium in Cleveland, with some more breathing room now after seeing their lead cut to 11. They lead it now by 18. Houston still clinging to that 4-point advantage over Detroit. Chicago by 6 for some time now at Green Bay. Rams get their second touchdown of the day. Kansas City on a Nick Lowry field goal is up by 10. Now they're helping Tim Green off the field. Number of injuries in the second half.
That's 3 linebackers so far for Atlanta. Tuggle, Brady, and now Tim Green.
First and 10 for the Bills. They got the ball at their own 44-yard line. Inside give to Killebrew. He has not been used that much in the second half, but he spins across the 50. Down to the 49-yard line. We'd like to welcome those of you joining us from the Cleveland-Tampa Bay game, where the Browns are in control over the Buccaneers. I'm Joel Meyers, along with Paul Maguire. And we're We're at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, where the Bills are clinging to a 1-point lead over the Atlanta Falcons. A little bit better than 10 minutes left, and what a difference the second half has been. As at halftime, Buffalo, in a defensive struggle, only led 7-3. Kennebrew on the second down carry, stacked up near the line of scrimmage, gets a couple. Ben Thomas standing them up, though, the right defensive tackle.
Well, Brady's back in. He just had his elbow dinged. Here's right at the point of attack. They take Thurman Thomas in motion, and then there's Ben Thomas on Kennebrew. Kennebrew is 260 pounds, 261 pounds?
6'2", 260, sixth year, Tennessee State. You can understand why Ben Thomas said, come on, guys, I need some help.
I can stand him up, but I better get somebody in there to help me bring him down.
Another critical third down for the Buffalo Bills. This is 3rd and 2. The ball just outside of the 48-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Thomas fumbles it. It's loose. He gets it back. Almost the third turnover of the second half committed by the Buffalo Bills, and it would have been the second fumble by Thurman Thomas. John Rady.
He just doesn't get control of the ball, but it looked like McKellar, he's blocking down. Richards blocking out. There goes Jamie Mueller in the hole, and it looked like the hole was there. Thurman Thomas just dropped the ball.
John Kidd ready to punt it away. Deion Sanders, who has been contained for the most part this afternoon. The wobbler, a returnable type. Not a lot of hang time on that one from the 3. Sanders across the 15, just barely tripped up. He fumbles the ball. Who's got it? Buffalo says they have taken control.
He's down.
They say he is down once again. Sanders, for those of you just joining us, fumbled earlier on a kickoff return. Back at his own 22.
And they got Steve Tasker, I think, is down. But watch what he does here. Hale's coming down. He just runs right by Hale. Just straight up the field. The ball comes out when he hits the ground.
When we come back, Atlanta will have it. 1st and 10. Near their own 21-yard line, but they're still absolutely perfect autumn afternoon at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. And we welcome you back once again. Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire in Buffalo. Still on top by a point with 8:35 left in the 4th.
And Steve Tasker got up and he walked off the field. He just looked like he had the wind knocked out of him. He's fine.
Now, for those of you that just joined us from the Cleveland-Tampa Bay game, primetime was on the offensive side of the line today. In the first half, Deion Sanders lined up at wide receiver. Chris Miller, in a no-huddle offense, threw a couple of quick passes to Sanders. The first one knocked down with great coverage. The second one, though, about a 20-yarder, right through the hands of Deion Sanders. And, well, at least for now, the experiment's over. It has not been in the offensive huddle in the second half. 1st and 10 to 21. That's the rookie from Illinois, Keith Jones. So tough to run against Buffalo. Gain of only 2 out to the 23-yard line. Scott Radisick. There's a young man who didn't practice hardly at all this week. In on that stop in his 6th year from Penn State. I still can't understand why the Kansas City Chiefs ever released him.
You know, and it is amazing, too. We're talking to Levy. We said, well, Scott Radisick start. He said, no, I don't think so. We're going to go with Bailey. They forgot to tell Scott Radisick that he was hurt.
He lined up. He started today. And he's gone most of the way. 2nd and 8. The ball to the 23. Miller in the 3-step drop. Finding Keith Jones, who beat the quarterback Odoms. He's got a first down and then some. All the way out past the 40-yard line. A first down for Atlanta. Let's get an update now. Bob Costas at NFL Live.
All right, Joel, that was good for the Falcons, but this is better for the Browns. Kozar hands to Eric Metcalf. They fake the reverse. Here comes Metcalf around the left side, zigging and zagging all over the place. Officially, the play covers 42 yards. He goes the distance untouched by human hands. And in the 4th, Cleveland leads the Bucs, 42-24. Joel?
All right, Bob, thank you. The Bills still with that 1-point lead. Midway through the 4th and final quarter. Wilkins, the tight end, in motion. Settled. Lumbering his way across the 45 for about 5 to 6 yards. He's near the 47-yard line.
You talked about Scott Radisick. Joel, here he is, number 97. Now he takes on the guard right there, and that's his position. Just fight off, and that's Freilich who's blocking against him. He doesn't make the tackle, but he's in position. I'm just sitting there watching Nate Odoms line up, and I've never seen a cornerback do that before. He gets down in a squat position, almost down to the line on the ground.
Radisic was a member of the Nittany Lions national championship team.
Look at the stance.
Interesting. There's Settle. Short of the first down on 2nd and 5. He gets a couple. There have been a lot of nicks and bruises for both sides in the second half. It's been an extremely long second half because of that. They've had to help a number of players off the field. We've just received word that Stan Clayton, the left guard for the Atlanta Falcons, re-injured his right ankle. It's uncertain whether he'll be able to return today.
And that is a shame because they just got him back in the lineup.
The third down with 6.5 minutes left. Third and a short 3 at the 48-yard line. Double up on the wide side of the field. Inside gives Settle. Close to the first down with flags down on the play. I believe he's short of the first down marker, though, just across the midfield stripe. He had to push the ball to the 49-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
And where that flag is thrown, that's holding. Yep. They have a drive going, and a holding penalty brings it back, and that was a first down.
Holding, number 79, offense, 10 yards, third down.
Now the Atlanta Falcons, as they call that, holding on Bill Fralick. The Atlanta Falcons have made a number of mistakes over the last 5 weeks in losing close fourth quarter games.
Number 79, Fralick. Now watch this. Look at his arms. You can get your hands up in their chest, and that Leon Seals is the man he was blocking, and you can't grab the guy. You can't let your arms get out around him. They're giving the offensive linemen all the opportunities in the world to block people by enabling you to get your hands up in their chest, but you can't hold.
And they may be watching those two quite closely now, because about 10 minutes ago, those two got in a little bit of a rumble. The mark off at 10 was 3rd and 13 now. Pressure comes on Miller. He'll scramble it. He'll be way short of the first down, though. He's up at the 45-yard line, short of the first down marker by 6 yards. He's met by Cornelius Bennett. Cleveland raising their record today to 6-3 with their dominating performance at Tampa Bay. Jets still on top, looking for their second win of the season. Kansas City is definitely going to be a force before too long under Marty Schottenheimer.
And Christian Okoye.
Doesn't hurt.
No, he doesn't.
Scott Fulleg ready to punt it to Mickey Sutton. Former member of the Los Angeles Rams back at the 15-yard line. Short one. Sutton leaping and making the grab in an awkward position. Didn't have a chance for return back at the 10-yard line. Andre Bruce, the first one down there for the Atlanta Falcons. You're right back to Fulton County Stadium with 5:09 left in the fourth. Looking for their 7th win of the year and their 4th straight, the Buffalo Bills lead it by 1 over the Atlanta Falcons with 5:09 left in the fourth quarter. Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. Good to have you with us at Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. 2 timeouts remaining for each team as both Kelly and Miller use timeouts within the first 5 to 6 minutes of the third quarter. That may be costly as far as Atlanta is concerned. First and 10 at the 11. Kinnebrew. Ball security at the utmost now. Gets 2 after the 13. Jumped down by Joel Williams, who's in there if you've just joined us for the injured Jesse Tuggle. Don't forget to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader on NBC. Some of you will see that the Bengals on the road taking on the Raiders at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, or the Denver Broncos at Mile High, matching up with the improved Pittsburgh Steelers. Clock is moving with 4:35 now. Left in the fourth. Kelly going up top, and it's complete near the first down marker. He goes to Andre Reed. About a yard and a half short, but there is a flag down on the far side of the field.
Illegal motion, 88, offense.
Pete Metzelaars, the tight end, right in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. You'll see Metzelaars. He moves too soon. Of course, they haven't thrown him a ball all day either. He's trying to get out there in a hurry to get himself in position. But I like the passes that Kelly's throwing right now. So that, again, there's those 6-8 yard patterns. Take the safe play. And wouldn't be surprised in a situation to watch Kelly just air one out.
Penalty not only costly because of yardage, but it also stopped the clock with 4:32 left. 2nd and 13. Plenty of time for Kelly. Now the pocket's collapsing. He's on his way down. Ben Thomas with a sack. Sack of the day for the Atlanta Falcons.
Ben Thomas beat Will Wolford, number 69 on the play. Ben Thomas, number 72. He's going to come upfield he's on the right-hand side of your screen. Kelly had time at that point. Just couldn't find a receiver open. They were trying to get Andre Reed deep to the corner. And Ben Thomas was there. Boy, you don't want to punt this ball at Neon. About a 50-yard line.
3rd and 19.
They'll run it out of here.
Eric Kinnebrew banging his way across the 5, spinning up to the 7. And the Bills will have to punt the ball away. Mike Gann, the first one in on the stop for the Atlanta Falcons. Gann in his 5th year from Notre Dame.
And it's showtime. Dion, I'll tell you, it's really funny, though, when he gets back on a power turn, look at him, he's talking to the crowd. Go get him. Go get him. And this whole Atlanta Falcon team, they stand up on the sidelines to watch this guy run. He's talking.
John Kidd punting deep in his own end zone. Sanders back at the Buffalo 48-yard line. Kidd sends out a beauty. Gets it to turn over. Sanders back to the 34. Tried to split the seam up the middle. The great special teams play for the Buffalo Bills made by Chris Hale, the rookie cornerback from USC. That was a 59-yard punt by Kidd.
It was a great kick by Kidd. And remember the last time that Dion ran a punt back, he ran by Chris Hale. And I told you, when Dion gets back, he's doing some shaking and baking. But look at the team. There's nobody on the bench. The entire team watches this guy perform. Chris Hale makes a super play. Deion Sanders is going to try to split the two coming down. And look at Hale right at the legs. And wait a minute. Didn't Marv Levy say don't tackle his legs? Only when you can.
1st and 10 now for the Falcons. They've got 2 timeouts left. The ball's at their own 39-yard line with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Jones in motion. Miller. Pressure coming. Conlon's got him. It's a sack. Darryl Talley. 56, not 58 on the sack for the Buffalo Bills. And like I said earlier, Paul, I truly feel he's the most underrated linebacker in the NFL.
He really is. The left of your screen, Darryl Talley will come in. Settle's trying to block him. He just ducks his head. And once he does that, Talley gets by him. And this is a position you don't want the Buffalo Bills to be in. When they know you have to throw the football, now's when they tee off.
Starting the day, Atlanta Falcons giving up the 4th most sacks in the NFL, allowing 30. Miller throwing on 2nd, about 16. Looking for Jones in and out of his hands. Darryl Talley.
They're putting the heat on.
Quite a personality. We spoke about a half hour, 45 minutes yesterday with Darryl Talley.
He's one of those guys.
Keeps that defensive huddle alive, I guarantee you.
And he is. He's one of those guys when, geez, I really don't know if I can make the meeting, but when he does, you can't get him out of the meeting.
3rd and 15, close to 16 with the ball back at the 34-yard line. Miller. Flushed down. Looking downfield, next dropped by George Thomas with a flag down on the play.
This ball hits George Thomas in the face mask.
Thought so.
I mean, I like the fact that wide receivers are taught to look the ball in, but not in between your eyeballs.
We saw this earlier this year where it almost stuck there.
Interference number 37, first down.
They call it on Odoms.
They call it on Odoms. All right, here we go. George Thomas, number 89. Watch where the ball hits him. And the reason they call pass interference, the only thing that I can see is that he's not looking back at the ball. He's got his hand in his face, but the ball hits Thomas right in the face mask. And that last time they could have gotten Mike Ken, number 78, for tripping. Bruce Smith.
Keeps the drive alive. That was on a 3rd and 15 situation. Now it's 1st and 10. Down at the 38. John Settle on the carry. Breaking tackles inside the 35. All the way down. Close to the 32-yard line. Gain of 7 on the carry.
And Shane Collins
put down by Leonard Smith.
Sorry, Joe, but Shane Collins is really upset with himself because he went around the block, was in the backfield, and missed the tackle. He had 7 in the backfield.
They just need a field goal to take the lead. And for those of you that joined us in the second half, earlier today, McFadden, the place kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, hit a career best 54-yarder, a Fulton County Stadium record. We've reached the 2-minute warning in Atlanta with the Bills still leading by 1. The score on the bottom means a great deal to Buffalo Bill fans. Miami wins over Indianapolis at Joe Robbie. That means Miami now is in 2nd place behind the Buffalo Bills with a 5-4 mark. Indy falls to 4-5.
The big problem is for Miami and for Indy is that Buffalo, they've already beaten Miami twice. And that's in the division. So that's good news for Buffalo.
Late games underway. The Giants with an early lead at Phoenix over the Cardinals. 2 minutes remaining. We're at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium as Marion Campbell looks on. So often this year, his team has dropped close games. 3 of their 6 losses have been by 7 points or less. This is 2nd and 4. The Buffalo 33, Miller in the pump fake. Finds his back in the flat. Keith Jones going airborne. He's got a 1st down.
Kirby Jackson, number 47, I believe they never got out to cover him. Watch Chris Miller. He wants Jones right off the bat, but he's got a man in his face, so he fakes, he pumps, then he gets him. Now watch what Jones does. Here comes Jackson, 47. Up over top of him. Kirby Jackson never touched him.
I think he can handle the high hurdles. 1st and 10 to the 14-yard line. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Trailing by a point. Settle trying to get to the outside. Turns the corner inside the 10-yard line. All the way down to the 7. Be right back to Atlanta, but first let's go to New York. Bob Costas in NFL Live.
All right, Joel, in Foxborough, after Steve Grogan got hurt, they went to Mark Wilson at quarterback. The former Raider was a sputtering performer early, but then in the 4th quarter, he connected for 2 touchdown passes. The second one, an 11-yarder to Hartley Dykes. With 20 seconds to go, it's New England by 2, but the Jets are close to field goal range.
Bob, thank you, and welcome back to Atlanta. Joel Meyers along with Paul Maguire. Buffalo leading by 1. In jeopardy, though, with 1:46 seconds left. 2nd and 3 at the 7. Keith Jones wanted to go outside. Down inside the 5. I believe he's got enough for the 1st down. Yes.
You know, John Settle on that last run, the play before this, when he ran with the ball, he came off holding his arm. But, I mean, they're in a chance of beating Buffalo. And so John Settle is back into the ball game again. It'll be tough to keep him on the bench.
And I was wondering when Marv Levy will start using his timeouts. He just called his 2nd of the 2nd half. So the Bills with 1 timeout remaining. The Atlanta Falcons still with 2 left. 1:26. Showing on the scoreboard clock.
Buffalo Bills can only take 1 more timeout. Atlanta has a full accompaniment of plays, 4 downs. And believe me, this is not 4-down territory now because they're in a position to kick the field goal. But they'll run as much time of that clock as they possibly can. Try to score the touchdown, obviously, but they'll settle for the field goal.
Our producer today providing us with our great shots, George Finkel. Our director, Brian Sheriff. McFadden earlier hit a 54-yard field goal. A career best. A stadium record. Let's look back on that play, Paul, earlier today.
Yeah, but the play before this, someone did report McFadden hit a
49-yarder.
49-yarder. So he goes back with this guy here. Back to back. This is just a chip shot.
He doesn't want to even be in there for a field goal. He wants the extra point.
You bet.
1st and goal. The ball at the 3-yard line. A 9-man defense points in front for the Bills. Keith Jones goes airborne. He's in. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Over Kirby Jackson was the great play that he made going down with it when he caught the pass. That was Jones' second touchdown over the top. The only problem is, did they score too soon?
Good point, partner. Buffalo still has one timeout left. Better than a minute remaining. McFadden in for the extra point. He drills it through the uprights. But even with the extra point, it's still a 6-point lead. Second touchdown of the day for Keith Jones, showing that great vertical leap once again.
We saw it on 2 touchdowns and on a pass play where he jumped over Kirby Jackson. He's laughing. He's having a good time. He likes to fly. Here it comes, folks, and they're coming right at you from ground level. The next guy you see is right there. Jones in the air. Touchdown.
How do you like it, Marion? Marion, are you sure?
You just scored, Marion. There goes Jones. And he took off about 5 yards out. Marv Levy is not a happy man, I'll tell you.
Marion, though, has seen too many of these games get away this year. Very late in the fourth, just like last week, when they were tied up with the New Orleans Saints at 13 apiece and lost in the final 2 minutes, 20-13.
But the Buffalo Bills have Jim Kelly and their offense, and they can explode. And here's a guy that will take advantage of it. The only problem is they only have one timeout. Those little short passes in the middle will be difficult because they run off too much time. But don't be surprised to see them to the outside.
Keep it away from Beebe. Down the middle, and Beebe will take the line drive at the 7. He's got brilliant speed. Beebe up the middle. There he goes across the 40. He's gone to the 50. He's gone. No flags down. Deion Sanders catches up from behind. Flag down on the play as they get Beebe at the 8.
Well, if he's 4.28, Deion must be 4.1.
You've got to try to kick it to Kenneth Davis, who isn't normally back there anyway, Paul. He's subbing today for the injured Ronnie Harmon.
Watch this guy fly. Here comes Beebe, and really not even touched as he goes through the hole. Now look at Deion Sanders, man behind him. Beebe is supposedly 4.29. Deion catches him at the 10. I just assumed it's the fastest man on the field. Once he broke open, he was gone.
Timeout has been called by the Atlanta Falcons. They've got one more left. 1:10 remaining. Atlanta leads by 6. And what a time for the Buffalo Bills to start a drive. Not only at the 8th, but the first time they've started a drive today in Atlanta territory. Don't forget to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader on NBC. Some of you will see the Raiders at home at the Coliseum against the Cincinnati Bengals. Others, a matchup at Mile High between the Steelers and the Denver Broncos.
How did you know? You said before the kickoff, don't kick it to Beebe.
He was due, just like you want to stay away from Deion Sanders if at all possible. 8 yards separate Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills from the end zone.
Deion Sanders must be one of those guys that really never gives you all of it when you're timing him. Because, I mean, it's been documented that Beebe is a 4.29 40 guy, and there isn't a faster guy that I know of that's on this field, but Deion caught him from behind.
That was an 85-yard return by Don Beebe. Thurman Thomas, the only one in the backfield. Kinnebrew goes in motion, and now is going to set up. Flip to Thurman Thomas. Inside the 5, stopped just short of the goal line. Now from Atlanta, I've got to stop the clock again. They've got one timeout remaining.
Right to your screen. Kelly goes down the line of scrimmage. He fakes to Kennebrew going up inside, and just that flip to the outside. There's just no chance for Ben Thomas to get out that far. The cornerback, or the linebacker should have been there. They weren't there. Thurman turns it back to the inside. And the Bills don't need a timeout.
No, I'm talking about Atlanta. So they can have some time when they get it back. Kennebrew, he's in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Still, though, they need the conversion to break the tie, as it's now 27-all.
You know, I watched this Buffalo Bills team, Joel, living in Buffalo. I watched this team go through 2-2-14 seasons. When they were behind, they just laid down. This team, the last few years, under Marv Levy and their coaching staff, and Bill Polian, who put this thing together, I'm going to tell you something, they have never quit in a ball game.
Scott Norwood has not missed an extra point this year. Out of the hold of John Kidd, and the Bills take the lead. The Bills take the lead with 29 seconds left. I'm still a bit puzzled, though, because Atlanta has one timeout remaining. And they could have stopped the clock with about 55 seconds left after that run by Thurman Thomas that took it down to about 6 to 8 inches away from the goal line.
Well, the problem is that you're going to need at least one timeout in this drive, because all they have to do, remember, again, yeah, there's only 29 seconds in the ball game. McFadden already hit a 54-yard field goal. If there's a win in his favor, it will be at his back. And here comes the touchdown. Watch Kennebrew. He just moves people out of the way to get into the end zone.
The man who set it all up with the 85-yard kickoff return, Don Beebe.
You know, Beebe, watch this thing, and no one really touches him until Deion Sanders tackles him about the 9-yard line. Here comes Beebe through. McFadden, you can forget that. Well, McFadden got his arm near him. But Deion, you talk about turn on some afterburners, because Beebe is at full speed. There was a flag thrown on the play, as you said, but the flag was picked up. The official said no foul.
Now let's see how the Buffalo Bills approach this kickoff. Do you want to keep it away from Deion Sanders to the extent that you'll put it out of bounds and give them the ball at the 35-yard line?
I would think that give them the ball as well as the defense is playing. Give them the ball at the 35-yard line. Don't let Deion Sanders touch it.
Norwood trying to kick it towards Keith Jones. Jones will take it to the 4. Jones going across the 25. He's put down to the 26-yard line. Let's roll those scores one more time with 24 seconds left in this game in Atlanta. Big win for Don Shula. And the Miami Dolphins are back over the 500 mark. And in overtime, the Minnesota Vikings defeat the Los Angeles Rams.
They score a touchdown in overtime. They can't score through the whole game. They get 6 field goals and end up with a touchdown.
One timeout left for the Atlanta Falcons. Madden has already hit a 54-yarder today. That came in the latter stages of the first half. Pocket holding up for Miller. Now it collapses. He's going deep, looking for Bailey, who takes it in. Inside the 35, all the way down to the 33-yard line. Already within McFadden range.
They're in McFadden range, and I just don't understand this. You know, again, prevent defense prevents a team, I've said this before, prevents a team from getting a touchdown, but it enables them to get a field goal. Key to that was what Chris Miller did when he broke out. He didn't go across the line of scrimmage. There's McFadden getting ready. They know that he's got the leg to get it there, and he does have the wind at his back. Now watch Miller. He goes up, he sets himself, and gets himself square up the field. Now, all they were doing, they're worried about Nate Odoms is someone getting deep. Well, Bailey didn't get deep. He came back to the football.
And the presence of mind of that young man in only his 3rd year from the University of Oregon, Chris Miller, because he was 2 yards short of the original line of scrimmage.
Well, they have 12 seconds and no timeouts. So you know one thing for sure.
They're going to the sidelines.
They're going to the sidelines. They have to. But the question is, how much are the Bills willing to give them?
And how much are the Bills willing to gamble?
And unless two things are going to have, one, either the sideline or he'll go into the end zone, but to get to the end zone takes time. And if they get a sack, it's all over.
If they tried it now, it would be a 50-yard attempt.
Yeah, I got to believe he's got to get rid of the ball quickly because he just can't afford a sack in this position.
12 seconds left on the 1st and 10 situation outside of the 33. Miller looking to the sideline and throwing the ball away. Dixon broke off the pattern.
And you're absolutely right. Dixon broke off the pattern. He had one-on-one coverage with Nate Odoms downfield, and Miller threw the ball towards the end zone. Dixon ran the wrong pattern. See, when you see that, a lot of times that is a read by the receiver and the quarterback. The quarterback reads one-on-one coverage. I want to get him deep. The receiver reads maybe double coverage. He's going to break it off to the outside. Here comes McFadden.
He is 2 of 3 on the afternoon. He is now 14 of 19 on the season. And he wants to stay away from everybody. Look how far he is away from the rest of the players.
He does that all the time. He just doesn't want anybody in there telling him what to do. He's concentrating on where he has to go. He's picking out a spot that he wants to hit. And this will probably be about a 51-yarder.
It'll be out of the hole to the quarterback, Chris Miller.
Any pressure?
The snapper is Guy Bingham, who was on the field when he wasn't supposed to be on that 4th down play on the 49-yard field goal attempt that was taken off the board. And that's when McFadden hit the 54-yarder. Bingham the snapper. Miller is the holder. They'll put it down just outside of the 40. Officially, it'll be a 50-yard attempt with the ball on the left hash mark. Seven seconds left. It's on its way. It's got the direction. It's good.
There's still 2 seconds. Isn't this the guy that Buddy Ryan cut?
Spent 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year he was with the New York Giants.
I think, can Quadra Bays go home now?
He was in earlier this week for a brief tryout.
I don't know. Can he go home now? Quad better find another team.
What a day for McFadden.
Boy, did he drill it.
A 54-yarder, and now what appears to be the game winner from 50 yards out.
Jim Hannafin. Bosch Fazio, the special teams coach. Once at Pitt, once at Notre Dame, and now here with Atlanta. Joe, I mean, he really thumps this ball.
I think he could have hit it from 60, Paul. With room to spare.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, that hit almost the back wall. The back wall is about 6 or 7 yards beyond, and he knew it when he hit it. All he wanted to do was keep it in between the posts. Don't fade on me. Look at Marion. He said, we needed something to get this team together. He said, we're not that far away.
Isn't the only one that feels that way. Most observers around the NFL with all these first-round draft choices feel the same way about the Atlanta Falcons. Beebe will get it on the run. Beebe trying to get blocks to the outside. They'll work the lateral play. Now the reverse as it's batted away by Sanders. It goes out of bounds and the Falcons win.